What the heck is going on? All right. Rams are 1-0. How we feeling, Rams fans? Hell yeah. So before we go get full on into the action, do you have like a couple of comments that I would like to make about this game? Because this is where I do want to do my talking of the previous game. I felt like that segment in last year's podcasts and previous year's podcasts kind of just seemed to be a little bit I guess late essentially because my show is obviously once a week. So coming in to talk about a game that had happened like 4 days before, I kind of felt like at that point we all kind of knew what had happened. So obviously we still all kind of know what happened right now, but either way, I feel like it's just a little bit more fresh right now. We still have a game going on right now, or at least it's almost over. We don't need to talk about all that. That's kind of madness, even though Jets putting up one hell of a fight, division game, but losing your quarterback like that in what appears to be maybe a pretty long-term deal, potentially. I don't know anything. I'm in Colorado. I was there. I'm not looking at his ankle or anything like that. I'm also not a Twitter doctor who decides that I can diagnose just on my cell phone while I'm eating chips. So. Either way, though, this game, I'll be honest, this is a lot more in line with what I thought the Rams could play like this year. I'm not necessarily blown away by anything. I know that some fans are, and that's totally fine. Obviously, there's been a lot of pessimism within the Rams fan base, and also let's not overreact here. It is still one game, and there's a lot of season to go. But the positives are that the Rams looked really good. The Rams looked really feisty, came out of the game healthy. Didn't take their foot off the gas. I think we saw some situations where we were more aggressive than maybe we had been in previous years. So that was really cool to see. I think ultimately the young energy of this team has been very critical. My comments about Tutu Atwell so far, I mean, I'm pumped about Tutu, and hopefully this continues. But I am like a little hesitant to just fully hop on board the Tutu train, simply because it has been one game so far. So as long as that continues, obviously that's a pretty exciting prospect if guys like Tutu Atwell can really pop this year and just absolutely be monsters. Feels like we know that Puka Nacua is going to be pretty awesome now, which is obviously super cool as well. We have the numbers here. Puka Nacua, where did it go? Well, maybe it's on the other page here. Puka Nacua, the first rookie in his NFL debut to have 100 yards receiving since Jamar Chase in 2021, and the first rookie to have 10 catches in his NFL debut since 1948. So obviously very cool stuff out of Puka. Puka was all over the place. Get the mistakes out early, which is one thing that I did like to see in this game for sure, is could get them out early. Puka had to drop early. Tutu kind of had some routes where it didn't look like he was really finishing them. Darian Kendrick gives up the touchdown to DK Metcalf, stuff like that. But then everybody just seemed to kind of tighten up, and that was really good to see. Even Brett Maher, who obviously gets the block initially and then misses the kick before halftime, but then again just tightened up. The whole special teams tightened up, the offense tightened up, defense tightened up, defense super tightened up. Holy moly. So that was super cool to see, obviously, as well, with the way that the defense played in the second half. So what is the number here? So where did it go? These notes are not my notes, so they're hard for my brain to remember where the heck I'm at all the time. Yeah, the Rams defense held the Seahawks to 13 plays for 3 yards of offense in the second half, which I think is not totally accurate. This is on the Rams media page, but it's the Rams defense in the second half was unbelievable, man. And I really like to see that, obviously. So that was really cool stuff. And we'll dive into some comments here before we get into our game badges. Paul says Rams. I agree, Paul. Hell yeah. Bill saying that Metcalf needs to be suspended. What a cheap shot. I don't know if he gets suspended. I don't know if I see suspension worthy of it. It was obviously a cheap shot. And, like, honestly, that DK Metcalf sucks, man. Like, as a human, I don't want to, like, totally bash his character here, but he's shown us no redeeming qualities. And he's just a tool, man. And, like, I don't know. There's not a lot of things about DK that I have positive to say about his personality. Obviously, he's a very talented player, so that's good for him and stuff like that. But he is quite the character. And yeah, you see stuff like that hit on Akello, and I saw like the comments on social media as well. Like it's like, oh, Akello should get an award for flopping here. It's like flopping, dude. He hit him from the back. Like, what are you talking about? You didn't see him coming. The reason that I think DK Metcalf should be suspended is because he uses a binky. But that's neither here nor there. Yeah, Sunday was indeed a good day in Ice Cube voice, which I'm not going to try to imitate. No one needs to experience that. And GP said, great game for us. Squabble says the Sea Pigeons would win by 17 on the NFC West Network last week. Oh yeah, when do they do their shows now? I gotta hop on there, man. I at least maybe pop in for a guest thing like I did. I've done that before since I was technically the first Rams representative on the NFC West Network. That was a really cool show. I love doing that. And those are some great guys over there. Really fun to have conversations with. But Squabo, Mr. Squabs, yeah, he's got confidence in his squad, as he should, based on last year. But again, every single year has its own identity, and I think that the Rams coming into this game and not only winning by so many, but like kind of coming in and just kind of establishing that, like, hey, this team is not done. Like the way Matthew Stafford was playing, incredible. Aaron Donald, incredible. Darian Kendrick, I am very high on. Christian Roseboom seemed to be at the end of every single play. Ernest Jones said career high in tackles. Like overall, it was just a great day for the Rams, and not a lot was going wrong, especially in the second half. There was like some moments going into it, and I know that you agree with me here on some level that like going in, maybe there's not a lot of confidence into the season, but there's a lot of hope still. And that's where I like to kind of teeter is like, it's like people keep asking me like, hey, how the Rams going to do this year? And I keep saying like, maybe not that good, but that's okay. Like I'm still hopeful, you know? But overall, wildly impressed by so many different aspects of the team. And also not really surprised, if I'm being honest. Like this is kind of what I feel like what we saw was what I've been echoing this entire time, ever since the Ram Showcase Live has begun and the podcasts have been coming back to the regular weekly schedule and stuff like that. I think that I have kind of prepared you maybe emotionally for something like this to happen, because I've been one of the few optimistic fans, and I know that I'm not alone there. But I do feel pretty alone in my optimism most times when talking about this team. But again, I wasn't really surprised by anything. We like going into the game, we knew that Matthew Stafford said he was feeling better than he has in a long time, and he played like he's entering a season where he feels better than he has in a long time. Tutu Atwell looks like he's ready to have an awesome season. Puka Nacua looks like he could already be, in conversations for Rookie of the Year, Defensive Rookie of the Year. Byron Young took some rough angles early, but again, kind of like wiggled into his own and was able to get it done. Kobe Turner and Byron Young getting their first NFL sacks. That's super cool to see. Darian Kendrick was all over the place, man. It was just really awesome to see. I was a little bit surprised to see the lack of John Johnson in the defense, but hey, Russ East, I'm kind of here for it. And also Russ East had a couple of those comments, like a couple of those moments there where like he tackles DK and then just kind of like stands over and was like, yeah, tell him who you are, man. Like, or give him the opposite and be like, who are you, dude? And I actually don't know if those comments are real. I definitely took them as like that's real. DK said that, and screw him for it. But I actually never heard him say it, so I don't know if those are real words or not. But I kept on. Obviously, if you follow me on Twitter at Sheriff Joe Bags or X, then you know that I was kind of all over that joke of like, who is that guy? Who's that number 14 over there? Never heard of him. He's got a binky. That's weird. They let babies play out here, but either way. But yeah, overall, just really pumped about it. So GP says, hop. Here's the hop there. Hop on the 2-2 train. The hype is real. I mean, it's very possible. And he looked really good. He looked hungry. He looked fast. He looked good to go. He was running routes probably better than he has in his entire career so far. So that was really good to see. So yeah, I mean, I'm not pumped about. Sorry, it works too. That's fine. I'm not pumped about Tutu or anything like that, and I've been hopeful about him. I like to think that based on like my attitude towards Tutu this entire like few years or whatever, that this offseason is the season where I've been kind of coming in of like, all right, well, let's see. But this has got to be the year. If it doesn't happen this year, it's probably not gonna happen. But so far, so good. And that's really good to see. Kyron Williams gets first 2 career rushing touchdowns, almost a third, which is really cool to see. Cam Akers, obviously, everybody's complaining about his yards, but I'm not super concerned about it. Just the way that the game was kind of unfolding, it seemed like the Rams were kind of just running into piles. But other than that, other than some run lanes that I just didn't feel like were open, really about the offensive line. But again, not surprised because again, I feel like I'm one of the only people that have been saying that that the Rams' offensive line was much better than people had been saying it was. So I don't know. I'm kind of here for it, and I'm kind of just trying to. I'm not trying to be like a very. I'm not trying to be like over the top, like I told you so. But it was like, I mean, the comments that I get on my videos and stuff, like, and I don't. First of all, I'm gonna start with this, and I don't care if I like if you don't like this comment, but I don't care how long you've been a Rams fan. That does not make you a better fan than anybody else. All right, we're all just Rams fans. There's no levels or tiers to this thing. All right, every Rams fan is welcome here. The same quote. I don't care if you can tell me Matthew Stafford's third daughter's middle name or that our quarterback is number 9. I don't care where you fall into that window. You're all welcome here. So to open a comment initially with like, I've been a Rams fan since, I don't care. And I'm probably not going to read the rest of your comment because it's probably going to be some very like self-serving, very like holier than thou, like, well, I've seen this, so I know better. And I don't care. I don't care what you have to say. If you have to open your comment by trying to justify your brain, because if you are just watching my videos in the off season and in the preseason and stuff like that, I assume you're probably a pretty hardcore Rams fan, right? Like this moment now that we're into the season is for the fans that pay attention during the season, and that's okay too. All fans are welcome here, like I said. But yeah, my little disclaimer there. I don't care how long you've been a Rams fan. That does not make you smarter about Rams stuff than anybody else. And i.e., perfect example, the comment that I'm referring to here, and I don't want to call anybody out specifically. It's a public comment. You can go find it. But the comment that I'm talking about is very much like, this is going to be terrible. We're going to get whooped by the Seahawks, and our team's not going to do anything. We're going to have the worst defense in the league and all this stuff. And whatever, I guess. Yeah, way to go, man. Like, all you get to do now is be like, oh, I was wrong. Like, so I don't know. Either way, it's Wednesday. Nobody represents us. I don't know exactly what that's referring to, but it did make me laugh, so that's good. Yeah, O-line did well, man. O-line did really well, so it was really, really awesome to see. Do you think Rivers should get a chance if Akers continues to struggle? I'm not sure if I'm ready to call these Akers struggles yet. I don't think that he really had an opportunity. I realize the number of carries he had, but like the plays that we were running, and it seemed like every time he was getting the ball, the defense was swarming. So no, I'm not panic mode on Akers quite yet at all. I do think it's rather curious to see that that Williams did get a higher snap percentage than Akers. So, I mean, from that perspective, maybe it is it's one of those things where if Akers doesn't start breaking off any runs, then we should see Ronnie Rivers, Mr. Rivers, which that is such a specific reference. And if you could get that, I'll send you a Ram Showcase T-shirt. You know what that is from. Because I feel very confident that no one's going to get that. But to like kind of comment on Akers there more, yeah, I'm not. It's one game, and each game has its own identity. And because he had these averages in this game, doesn't mean that that's just going to carry over into next week, and that's just going to be the same exact thing. That's not real. So I say let's just kind of step back a little bit and just give it a moment to kind of unfold. Let the averages kind of play out a little bit, because obviously we don't have strong averages yet, and if the Rams sit at like, what is it, the second offense in the NFL and like the third defense in the NFL, if we could sit on that all year, that in that case, you know what, I would have a round if I told you so's. I would make it a point to go find people that I was sitting here like, I don't know, what are you talking about? Like, I'm confident. I feel like this team can do it. This team can put it together. I would go out of my way to find those people and invite them onto the show. And yeah, and see what they have to say about themselves, because I get like the whole like being realistic. I don't think that being realistic is like, or that being pessimistic is just inherently realistic. And I think people kind of use that a lot when they don't think that the Rams are going to do well. They just say like, I'm just being realistic. It's like, are you though? Because the Rams just beat the crap out of the Seahawks, and you thought we would get smoked. So what was realistic? What was realistic is the Rams came in ready to play and did a great job. And as good as Bobby Wagner is, seems like he's bad luck in this series. Either way. Okay. Okay, I don't know what to do here, man. I don't know. I guess if the demand was high enough, but I really, really like having Sundays to myself, bro. I like not having to do anything and not having to like put my brain into creating content and keeping conversations alive. I just want to be a fan. I gotta say, man, going into the bar, man, after week one, oh my god, dude, that was so sick. I walked in and I didn't see anybody immediately that I knew, but I just walked in and I just yelled some curse words, which I try to keep off of him. I just came in there, I busted. I was like, hell yeah. It's like, I missed this. And I was just high fiving anybody I passed, man. It was so much fun. I'm giving hugs and stuff. I was like, yo, happy week one to everybody, man. It was such a good time out here. And then of course the Rams started just, you know, crushing souls, which was sick to see. But but Edwin, if you're looking for a Rams show pregame, sure there's others out there, man. I definitely did not have that market cornered by any means. The only thing I miss about it is that I could do the score prediction thing, which I can't obviously do now. The thing just ended. What's happening? The Jets won in overtime. Hell yeah, Jets! I'm happy for them, especially after losing Rodgers, man. I think I got that pick right too. Finally. Killing it. I also picked the Lions. I picked the Rams. Picked the Jets. Big brain Joe Bags over here. Big brain Joe Bags. All right. Keep moving on here. I still do have game badges to pass out, by the way. And we're doing 3 today. And game badges are for winners, by the way. So if we lose, there are no game badges. The Metcalf quote was never said in that presser. Yeah, see, I was worried about that because I wanted it to be real just so that I could a little bit. He's easy to hate, though. So it's not like I'm short on material on things to dislike about DK Metcalf. That guy's a douchebag. I mean, so let's keep it real here. That guy, I mean, personality-wise, that guy's quite a bummer. So let's see. Same game plan for us. I mean, we'll change a little bit. If the game plan is score more points than them, then hell yeah. But if it's attack the same way, I don't feel good about it. Just a different team entirely. The Seahawks and Niners are very, very different. So, yeah, either way, though, man, the Niners coming in, obviously, that's a tough game. But we knew going into this last game that it was going to be tough. So as far as stopping the 49ers, I think it's going to be, I mean, last week is not really something that we can look at from their perspective, it just not being in a division game and stuff like that. But we've played Purdy a few times, so that kind of benefits us a little bit. We've got some personal experience against him, and then also we just have that hatred, man. We got the fire in our gut, of just hating the 49ers, and that goes down to the roster as well. That goes from fan base to roster, so which is cool to see. Aaron Donald very vocal that he does not like these guys, and yeah, they had a good game week one. I'm trying to even remember who did they even play. Dude, my brain it's been such a busy weekend. Holy moly. I don't even want this to go that long because I got stuff to do tonight still. Who did the 49? Oh yeah, Pittsburgh. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. Is like I felt pretty good about Pittsburgh going into that game, but at the same time, I don't think that they're like major contenders or anything like that. What are we doing over here? This hair is getting absurd. I'll say that much. But yeah. And it's without Rams representation. Oh man, we got to fix that. That's too bad, man. I work nights though, so I can't do it. Yeah, I'm the night guy. I'm the night guy. I'm the night guy, pal. What's up, Josh? Sure, let's go. Let's do it. I missed that. I missed that little that was fun. Yeah, another one come back to the NFC West Network, dude. If I didn't work on Wednesday nights, I'm probably on air like when that goes down. So like I definitely cannot do it. Like I couldn't even like do one of those things where I take off of work for a little bit and go, like switch up my hours for a little bit and take off and do it and talk Rams football or something like that. That's too bad, man. I know Peo was really good on there. I obviously had a lot of fun doing it, but there's a lot of Rams creators out there. But I will say God, I feel like it's just talking trash, and I don't want to do that. That's not my intention here. From what I know from other Rams, or not Rams creators, but from other team creators in the conversations that I've had, is people say that they tend to have a difficult time finding people that they trust to come on to things like that. So Yeah, that's I've heard that like the few I don't want to name names because if anybody I leave off of that is going to be like kind of like a tag of like, oh, he means this guy. But I don't want to do that. I'm not trying to call anybody out. And everybody I think does good content in their own way. You know, we all have our own groove and our own rhythm and own style, and I think that we've all kind of fit into our own ways. But I'm just going to keep on my path and wiggle that way. So yeah, it's too bad though. The NFC West Network is Ramsless at the moment. That's too bad. What are my early impressions of? Okay, we'll get into this here in a moment. Here, yeah, because it seems like we got some that are kind of moved forward now. So let me finish up here with this Rams Seahawks game. Also, if anybody does want to hop on in, here is the link to join for in the comment section, depending on if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, it's in the comment section. So if anybody wants to join in, hop on, talk about maybe who you were wildly impressed with, who you were bummed with, any surprises. Like honestly, my main surprise, like, because I'm not that surprised that Tutu did a good job, mainly because we've heard so many positive comments about him this entire camp and in preseason stuff, and him not playing in preseason. It was like, okay, well, he's going to get utilized a lot, so that should translate, right? Like eventually potential has to translate into production. Otherwise, you have to move on from that player. So it looks like we're in that window right now of that, like kind of translating onto the football field, which I'm really pumped about. So I don't know if I'm surprised at Tutu Atwell's performance. Puka, I'm a little surprised with. That is like the best single game rookie performance under Sean McVay ever, I think. So that's super cool to see. But speaking of those two, let's just go ahead and give out our game badges here. All right, we're going two on the offensive side of the football here. We are going wide receivers, Tutu Atwell and Puka Nacua. I am so pumped to hear the Puka chants at SoFi Stadium, although I know that the whole the universe right now is very much like, hey, if a guy goes off for 10 catches and plus 100 in his first NFL game, guaranteed he's going one catch for 9 yards next week. And it's possible. It is definitely possible. But Puka Nacua, let me pull up the numbers here. I don't have them just off the dome. And I don't feel bad about that, actually. I got to keep some free space in here. You know what I mean? But either way, Puka Nacua, the way that he was kind of fitting himself into the offense, I think, is what was most important part about it. And both of these guys had their situations where they kind of had some issues early. Puka, obviously, with the drop early and stuff like that. And then even like his comments about it were that, you know, Matthew Stafford went up to him right after that and was like, hey, my bad, man. I gotta put that in a better spot for you. And that just calmed him down of like, okay, no, I'm playing with the big boys now, and they make mistakes too. It's okay. Let's just move on. And as you see on my brain, the little patch on his jersey there. Didn't know that was a thing. Absolutely love it. I think that's awesome. For all rookies in week one, have their own little. That's the jersey tag. It's going to be on his wall forever, and all of the rookies who had their jersey with that little patch on it going to be on their walls forever, in their man caves forever. And I think that's absolutely awesome. But Puka, 10 catches, 119. Of course, did not score any touchdowns. But did have one run, went for -6 yards, but kind of shows we're going to use that as the season goes on. And again, you can't take averages from game one and just translate them all throughout the season. We're going to be playing different teams and stuff like that. And also, let's not forget that like the Sean McVay Rams have kind of had the Seahawks number. The Pete Carroll Seahawks number. Like Sean McVay tends to do well against Pete Carroll and the Seattle Seahawks. And also, let's not forget that last year, we didn't even see Matthew Stafford against these Seahawks. We had the Wolf Au and then Baker Mayfield at the end of the season. So to have a healthy Stafford come in, and I know, like, and I think too, like everybody was like, oh, we don't have Cup, we might as well just start. We're on Rams the clock, and it's like, hold on, it's like we've got other guys, man. Like, and I get that Cooper Kupp is super sick. He is so sick, but he's also one guy, and we've also won games without Kupp. We've lost games with Kupp. So, like, yeah, he is super dope, and we're obviously a better football team when he's on the field. But he is not the key to wins and losses. And so, like, I got a message once Kupp was officially rolled out, and it was like, I just don't see it anymore. It was like, that's wild, because my personal confidence did not solely hinge on Kupp's existence. That the second he was out is like, guess we have nobody. That was not part of my brain. So yeah, either way. But Puka Nakua, first of all, one of one in his career on getting game badges, which is the highest honor that you can possibly garner. All right. A Sheriff Joe Bags game badge is the pinnacle. You've reached it, Puka. Way to go, man. And then a Tutu Atwell, which I am going to confidently, without researching, say that this is the first time the Tutu Atwell's gotten a Sheriff Joe Bags game badge here. But congrats to the boys here. As yeah, this offense. Let's also not forget the Cooper Cup will be back with these dudes. And what if these dudes? What if Puka and Tutu over here are like they're in like the beginning stages of the sickest season of all time, and then we add the Triple Crown Super Bowl MVP, one of the best wide receiver seasons in the history of the NFL, Cooper Cup into that party. Come on now, that is so sick. And then, like, we can't just bank that that Cam Akers is going to average like a little over a yard a carry. Guys like John Johnson aren't going to play. Like, I don't know. There's just a lot of moving factors to it. So for the first game badges passed out, Tutu Atwell and Puka Nakua. But we always do one offense and one defense, or at least an offense and a defense. I know that there's literally backwards every time. Two dudes right here. But I'm gonna count that because, first of all, I'm a little frustrated with all the fans who are like, we're terrible. We suck. We might as well not even watch. And it's like, well, I left there like, hey. Which was really fun. But let's head over to the defense here. I'm giving this one to Ernest Jones, the new captain, the green dot captain over here. First-time captain for Ernest Jones. He also just notched his career high in tackles for a single game, which – it was the record that he set in Week 18 against the Seahawks. So back to back, he's just tackling the hell out of some Seahawks, which is really cool to see. But obviously, with, Jets believe it's an Achilles. Ouch. Sidetracked. But Ernest Jones, man, and it wasn't that he was like just like totally popping off the screen or anything like that. Even though he did have a bunch of TFLs, which I believe he's like tied for first in the NFL in TFLs right now, which is really cool. 8 tackles, 5 for a loss. That's awesome. That means he is reading the play and attacking, which is really cool. Getting guys lined up in the right spot as well. We have so many young guys, so many young corners, so many young rushers, so many young front 7 people, and this guy here is putting everybody into position in one of the best half performances that we've ever seen out of this defense. So Ernest Jones absolutely getting the game badge, 100% deserved. Ernest Jones is so sick. So pumped about it, man. Pumped for Ernest Jones, pumped for Puka Nakua, pumped for Tutu Atwell, your recipients of the first game badges of the season. Let's go. Pumped about it. Puka, yeah, Pook. Yeah, I don't know what we're doing here. Are we doing like is it like a Nakua? Is it a Puka? Is it a Puka? Is it what is it? I don't even know actually. So I'm trying to decide. By the way, about because I hate fantasy football kind of with my whole heart because I don't really care who's scoring just as long as they play for the Rams, you know. But I am going to change my name from what I'm not going to tell you right now because it's kind of inappropriate to either Pakua Matata or wait. One is it? Is it whatever? You get it. Yeah, that's the one. Pakua Matata or Pakua. No, it's the first one. Yeah. Or Tutu Train, which is the thing I've said for years now. The Tutu Train. Victory Monday! It's our first one, man, of probably just 17, right? I like to think so, at least. It was so fun. Dude, I'm super sad, though. I'll be honest with you. The reason that this is so late tonight is because I was going to go to the first ever playoff game for the Rocky Mountain Vibes, and it got postponed until tomorrow at literally first pitch is the time I go into work. So it's like, dang it. But Rocky Mountain Vibes in the playoffs, pumped about it. Rocky Mountain Vibes are the best baseball team in the state of Colorado, and it's not even close. That's the cool part. Did you hear the clip of Geno Smith screaming for his life when Donald was rushing towards him? Absolutely hilarious. You can hear him just like, he's like, oh my God. Like, which, as funny as that is the proper response to Aaron Donald running free at you with like probably a look in his eye that's like he's He is coming, And so, yeah, that's the proper response. I would do the same, if not with more profanity and probably falling down. I'd probably Kyler it. I'll be honest. I'll be real with you. I feel like this is a place that I can share my, my honest opinions. If Aaron Donald's free running at me, I'm Kyler Murraying so hard and just falling to the ground. By the way, sidebar. There's that Verizon commercial, right, where it's like the Cardinals fans or whatever. And I believe that whenever there's commercial that's like kind of about a team or about a fan or whatever like that, and it's kind of geared towards one team, that typically they show a play that's very good for that team, right? Well, that's why that commercial is hilarious to me. So if you watch that Verizon Cardinals commercial where the dude's like looking through dude's windows or whatever, like a weirdo, what are you doing out here? But if you look at the like when they show the TV and it shows like a Cardinals play, they're playing against the Rams. You can see Aaron Donald break through the line and Kyler Murray just like turn and bolt away. It's so funny, and like that's the play they used. Is Kyler be like, or like, oh my god. That would be like them using that for a Seahawks play about like it's be like, oh my god, like, yeah, which I'm a big fan of that for sure. Oh no, I saw saying that he'll be the guy about Zach Wilson. That's tough, dude. uh, I feel so bad for Jets fans, dude. And like I started watching that game, I was still driving home. I had it on my phone, and I started watching it, and it was like the first play, it was like, oh man, I gotta protect better. And the second play is like, dude, protect him. What are you doing? And then the third play, Flo gets in there, just like gets in there, and then it's like, well, there's Zach already. And it's like, then he just goes down, like he gets all the way up and then goes down, and it's like, oh no. And then you hear like the carts coming out. It's like, oh no. In my brain, I just think of Jets fans just sitting there like, all right, man, season's ready. Let's go. We got Aaron Rodgers. And then just like, right, you're 4 minutes into the game. And then there's, which we've been there. We've been in that exact mood before. And what year was that? The Browns-Rams preseason game in Cleveland. We go up there, and it was like Sam Bradford's going to play, and it was like, why is he going to play though? Like, we don't need him in this preseason game. And it's like, just get him reps. And it's like, okay. And then he goes down, and it was like, okay, that sucks. It's probably an ACL. Right away, they were like, I think it's not an ACL. I think we're okay. I think it's like we've avoided the worst. And then literally the next day, they're like, yeah, it was an ACL. Like, you can't do that to me, man. Like, but yeah. Do you think Geno Smith had an underwear change after his encounter with Donald? I think that he probably had an underwear change just probably watching tape on Aaron Donald. I think that's appropriate, right? So they're saying Achilles tear with an MRI coming tomorrow. Dang, dude. Oh my God. Could you imagine, like, put in your mind that, like, we're back to, like, Sean Hill being our backup, right? And we make a trade for Matthew Stafford, and we're super pumped up about it. And he tears his Achilles in play 4. Dude, check on your Jets fan friends. Because I know they won tonight, but, like, that's a division game. People can win division games, you know what I mean? Rams just beat the butt cheeks off of the Seahawks, which is awesome. Sam Bradford. Also later known as Damn Bradford. Like, yeah. That rookie season was fun, though. 2010. That was fun. I got to see him in Denver. That was fun. Steven Jackson didn't go off that day, which I was glad about. He had like 46, something like that. But I met Chris Long. I met DeMarco Farr. That was cool. Denario Alexander kind of went off. Matthew Mulligan, champ, dude, scoring 2 touchdowns. It's good stuff. Did the Jets really win that game? They did win that game. They won the game in overtime, dude. I missed the end of it because I was setting up for this. But let's actually find out. I actually didn't see. I didn't check what had actually happened. It was 22-16. Jets win overtime. So in the fourth quarter, the Jets outscored the Bills 10-3, Jeezy, they got Jeezy. Greg Zorline out there now is their kicker. And sent it to overtime, or the Bills sent it to overtime. They kicked a field goal with 6 seconds to go, tie it, to send it to overtime. And then a punt return. Damn, 42 yards. 42 yards. Okay. For a 65-yard return for a touchdown to end the game. That's badass. And kind of exactly what you would expect, right? Like if ball's in Zach Wilson's hands, maybe that doesn't happen. So it's like him. Let's just not. Let's not even worry about that. Let's just take this. Dude, the biggest facts, bro. Check this out. What? Me and buddy over here, dude. That's so sick. I'm gonna try to find it here. Where am I at? What am I looking for? Oh, we got Puka Nacua. Right, kid's amazing, man. Kid's amazing. It's kind of funny too. In my fantasy league, I always feel like I have one wide receiver that I'm like, this guy's gonna be dope. Like, and for no reason, it's like this guy's so sick this year, dude. Last year it was George Pickens, and I know that his like fantasy numbers or anything like that weren't that sick, but it was like he was damn good at football, and looks like he's gonna be better this year. And so they asked me, they're like, who's this year? I said Puka Nacua, dude. Puka Nacua. Ooh, this is a good question, and actually something that I plan on addressing in the podcast. So maybe not something that we'll touch on too deep here, as I'm still kind of unfolding my thoughts. This is very much like an off the cuff thing. I don't really plan anything. Sometimes I have like a word or two that's like off to the side of like, oh, mention this, or hey, this is something. But the show is very structured and very planned out, and it's even though I am going like off the cuff a little bit on that. It is more structured and planned out, and I time myself on things and stuff like that. So yeah, this that I kind of want to unfold my thoughts, because he did end strong, Maher did, but that miss was like, all right, get out. Like I right away, dude. I immediately turned. It took the block, which I give that one to Chase Blackburn, because I will say that overall his scheme stuff hasn't blown me away. But also he's a brand new coach, and I really liked him as a player. So he's also, let's not forget, I mean, Chase Blackburn's a dude who has a pick on Tom Brady in the fourth quarter of a Super Bowl in which his team won. So obviously it was super important. So like, yeah, he was a sick player, and I really liked watching him. But I think that I kind of lost my train of thought there. All right. I saw another comment come in, and then I was trying to read that, and I was trying to talk, and just didn't work out. My cat's going crazy. What are you doing, Carl? And then, yeah, so either way. Maher, though, I kind of want to, like, think about it a little bit more, because I was so quick, dude. He like, oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. It all came back. But Chase Black, like, the way that the blocking was on that, it seemed to me like a schematic deal. Or somebody just blew it off, which obviously I can't know that. None of us can know that. Only they really know that, and there's really no reason for them to. It was him. Like, they're not going to do that. So it's like either way, it didn't work, and it got blocked, and that sucks. But ultimately, minimal as far as the impact overall on the season. Like, we're not going to look back at the end of the season and be like, but Maher got that kick blocked. And it's like, well, because we won the game. So, I mean, that's why we're not going to say that. But yeah, there's he was able to kind of turn it around. But after that miss before the second half, I was like, I was out. I was like, all right, who's next? Who's going to be the next kicker? Man, what is this? So I was so mad about that, because it was a bad miss, dude. Right away, that was a bad miss. So yeah, that was. But then he turned it on. So he ended the day strong, scoring some points for us. What did he get? Ultimately, it was what. He scored 12 or 13 points for us. I mean, it was a good day for him, honestly. If you take away those, like the block and then the miss, overall, I think Brett had a pretty good day. I'm trying to figure out like a thing, because we had a thing where when Matt Gay would hit a kick, we would all just yell "Gay" and then high five, obviously, and not like in a weird way. Don't be that guy, but like we would just do that. That was our thing, "Gay," and then high five for Matt Gay, because he was so dope as a kicker. Maher, though, I'm having a hard time thinking of of a nickname. And my brain just keeps going to that Biodome quote where he's like free mahi mahi, but free maher maher, you know? Maybe, I don't know. Yeah, but I will dive into the kicker stuff a little bit more on the podcast this week. So dropping that video version for y'all too, man. That was fun. That was fun to be back on that, by the way. That was fun. I had a good time with that. I gotta focus it. I realized that after editing it, and it was like, well, I can't reshoot it. Like, it's like I'm just out of focus. I'm on blurry Joe bags today. What you take on negative Travis Rogers? I mean, Travis, I think he's fine. I like Travis Rogers actually. I like both those guys actually. I like D-Mac and Travis Rogers. I think they do a very good job, and especially for doing a show every day. That is so hard to do. Like there's especially like in the off season and stuff like that. I get like there's a lot of rehash topics and a lot of like drawn out stuff that they do. And I get that. You have to do that. That's just the way that media is sometimes. Sometimes you got to talk too long about something that's not that cool. You know, it's just the way it is. But I think that they do a good job. My only thing on that show is that I think it looks very generic and visually, but I think it's just part of being in a network like that. They kind of they tend to try to keep everything very very structured and very set up like that. But I think the blue that they use is too bright, which kind of annoys me. Stuff like that. Let me see what is. Do I have any of the blues here in my stuff here? Yeah, so I've got. Yeah, so like you can see, you can't see my mouse at all. In here, like that's our blue. That's the Rams blue, and I feel like the one that they use is way over the top of that. So that one annoys me a little bit. But also, I think that that's just a normal thing for Rams podcasts and Rams channels and stuff like that. Is they tend to go a little high on the blue for some reason. I don't know if there's I'll tell you if you are making stuff, and I think that I can do it here. So going behind the scenes with Sheriff Joe Bags. All right, so we're gonna do this. And so this is our yellow. This is the code for our yellow, the Rams yellow. This is official here. But if I wanted to do the blue here, so we go, keyboard. I have it memorized like muscle memory. 4, boom. And then it changes to the blue, which obviously is not that insane of a blue. It's very, very standard, but that is the 003594. That is the Rams official blue if you're doing hex codes. And FFG 100 is the Rams official yellow. And I know this is not a topic anybody cares about, but I don't care. I'm into it. And then if you want to do the bone, obviously that's E3D AC9. I say obviously like everybody knows this, but that's obviously not true. But yeah, that's the bone color. So I like to stick with the yellow because yellow is my favorite color, actually. FFD 100. We'll keep it there and take this off. I'm Sheriff Joe Bags. You get it. But yeah, either way, that's I feel like they go too light on the blue. That's my whole point on all of that. And D-Mac is very announcery, which is not a bad thing at all. I think that's probably why he's got that gig, is because he's very like the way he delivers is very it feels very media trained, you know. Just his whole cadence and everything feels very much like he's been taught a lot of things. Probably had a lot of air checks where he talks with managers and voice people and tells them to deliver a certain way. But that's not a bad thing. That just means he's a good listener and he'll do what you need him to do. So probably a really good employee, actually. And yeah, I don't hate that show at all, though. I think that's as far as like other Rams shows. I don't get into a whole lot of other Rams shows. I just don't want to like subconsciously or consciously like steal from them. I don't want to see somebody be like, damn it, that's a really good idea, I'm gonna do it. Like, you know, I try to keep it only releasing from my brain. But yeah, either way, negative Travis Rogers. He is a little bit negative, but hey, it happens, man. I don't know if you've seen other Rams fans because most of them I think are negative and entered the season like totally selling stock. And actually, and I'm not going to call out the person who it is, but I will say that that there was one person on X that they were mad that the Rams won because they are that committed to wanting Caleb Williams. That's my reaction to that. Is I what? Like, how can you be mad that your team won because you want a college player? We don't even know if he's going to be good in the NFL. What if he comes in and is not? Like, then what? I'm not saying that's for sure going to happen, but like, let's not pretend like high picks are guarantees to hit. Do I need to remind you about Alex Barron and Greg Robinson and Jason Smith and Sam Bradford and like all these Ty Hill and all these other like Adam Carricker? How deep we want to go here, man? So yeah, just because people are picked high does not mean they're good. But either way, um, let's see. What up, John? Hey, dude, sorry about your boys, man. What the heck is going on out here, man? To Deshaun too, man, that sucks, man. But yeah, overall, I think these Bengals here, man, Johnny, they're gonna turn that around. Obviously, they're a good squad out there, man. I actually have a lot of confidence in them going into this year, and I kind of felt like they might start slow. That's just kind of what they've done for the past few years. I did pick the Bengals in that game, but that's just because I have zero belief in the Browns. What can you do about it? But yeah, either way, I think like they've started slow in recent years. Cleveland being a division opponent and has played them well recently. I think there's a lot of factors to it, but I think at the end of the year, like the fact that Browns fans are talking trash today, I think that Bengals fans later in the year are going to be able to laugh back at that and be like, yeah, well, have fun watching us in the playoffs, dog. You know, so that's cool. What am I talking about? I don't know. I don't know what I'm talking about. Not anymore. What was I saying? That's my favorite thing to say to people, and they're like, "I heard you on the radio." Cool. What did I say? They never know. They never remember. Appreciate them listening, though. Good stuff. But yeah, if anybody does want to hop in, this would be the time to do it because I feel like I've said what I wanted to say about this game. But we'll talk about quickly here. We'll go over these notes. So I'll give Van Jefferson kind of disappointed me a little bit. Obviously, there was that big drop, which sucks. But ultimately, I think that his routes are just not there sometimes, and I don't know what it takes to get him to like have a day, you know. But I think that that was it was a bit of a bummer. He's Van Jefferson, like I want him to be so sick, but I feel like he's just like a little above average, you know. And I hate saying that, but like from what we've seen from Van, it's like he can pop randomly, but then he can also have these days where you're like, all right. And then and then luckily we had Puka and Tutu to absolutely light it up out here. I'm trying to think of new nicknames for Puka. There's got to be something. Dropping the pook. Nuke. I don't know. That's good. I was riffing now. I didn't expect the weather. Also sad boy watching that game. Yeah, dude, you never want to lose to Deshaun. That's for sure. There was a fantasy team name about Deshaun that I don't know if I want to talk about it, but it was really funny. Made me laugh real hard. So that's cool. But yeah, that's they'll be fine. I'm not worried about that. I think it's one of those things where there's going to be a lot of overreactions this week, and I'm trying to like I guess pace my own reactions when it comes to the Rams game. But overall, I am thrilled. Obviously, anytime the Rams beat the Seahawks, I feel real good about it. But then just the simple fact of like I feel like that's what I expected. Like I don't know, like and maybe that's just me being optimistic and kind of maybe kind of stupid, but like I like watched the game and was like, yep. It was like these are the Rams. Yep. Offensive line, yep, looking good, man. Like because I've said it a bunch of times. I feel like we got 8 or 9 guys who could be starters on the offensive line, and to see them protect Stafford like they did, I sat there and was like, yeah, these guys are good. They're good. They're good at football. What can I say? We're good. People keep forgetting that last year we had guys that we were signing on Tuesday and they were playing on Sunday. So it's like, what do you expect from these guys, man? Like, not everybody can have a Baker Mayfield day where they sign and 2 days later lead a game-winning drive in primetime football. Like that's not everybody can do that. So there's obviously a lot of different aspects to it. But and then Tyler coming in, how you feeling about Puka and Williams? Dude, loving them both, man. Puka's super sick right now, man. And then obviously Kyron looks like he might actually be RB1. Like, I mean, he might actually be the RB1, even though maybe depth chart stuff says otherwise. And also, can we stop paying so close attention to the depth chart? It's not real. It's not important. All right, it's not a real thing that matters. All right, we got a guest coming in though. Somebody you guys are getting very familiar with, and you're welcome for that because this is awesome, man. Always love chatting with this dude. He's one of just the coolest dudes, man. His energy's always super just there, just mellow. I've never seen him like angry or anything. I'm sure he gets angry, but not here. This is Ram Showcase, man. We're having a good time. And we just beat the hell out of the Seahawks. Beat the butt cheeks off of them, man. How the heck you doing, Edwin? Welcome back, man.
How's it going, bro?
Doing incredible, man. It's a good day. How are you doing?
Very good day. Very amazing. Happy Monday, especially living in Oregon, living so close to Washington.
Yeah.
A lot of Seahawks fans over here. I don't know if you know this, but I am a manager at a paint facility, and one of my employees is a huge Seahawks fan.
Nice, you fire him?
Yeah, I almost did. But I gave him so much crap today, dude. Like it was awesome.
That's awesome. I am not very much of a trash talker. Especially when the Rams win. I'm very much a good game, man. Like I'm very much that guy, because I think it's annoying when people are like sore winners to me when like people come in and they're like, you suck. And it's like, first of all, I was just getting drunk watching the game, man. I didn't play. Like I didn't actually. I didn't do this. Okay.
No, I'm gonna send you a picture of my office. It's all decked out in Ram stuff.
Yes.
But I when he came into work today, I'm like, hey, can you come into my office? And I just set everything up right, all my Ram stuff. I'm like, hey, bud, how are you doing today?
I love that. And then you fired him. Hell yeah. Dude, that's awesome, man. Is there anybody that you were like kind of hoping to see more from that we just didn't, or is it all positive?
Most of it was all positive. I would have loved to see a little more of Cam Akers. I felt like he didn't really get enough opportunity to show what he's got, but very happy with Kyron Williams, dude. Like he's awesome. Puka Nacua, like I've said from day one since we got him, like he's gonna be special. Tutu Atwell, I haven't been on that train, but I'm here for it. I'm like you in that way. Like I will root as long as you wear the Rams horns. I will always root for you, and I will not. I do not wish anything. I don't want you to fail as long as you're wearing those horns. Once you leave the team and you go somewhere else, then all bets are off, right? But
yeah.
As long as you're wearing those horns,
there's certain players we all kind of are like, I hope they do well, but
right. But dude, our O-line, that was my biggest concern for the most part, like did so awesome. And I was so happy. Like Stafford had a clean pocket most of the time and he was able to make those throws. And just watching today and like listening to all the media coverage and they're like, oh my God, where did this Rams team come from? And I'm like, did everybody just forget how good Stafford is when he's healthy? Like, did you just like forget that he can make those throws and he is like a top 5 QB? Like what happened there? Like where you thought we were just going to fall off a cliff. You know what I mean?
I think too, it's like, I heard the comment of like Rob Havenstein was one of 4 players to play in all 17 games for the Rams last year. And I was like, oh God, like, and I think that's something that people are forgetting about as well, is that this team was just too beat up last year. And when you're signing guys and then they have to play that weekend, start that weekend, that's never a good situation. And when you go through 4 starting quarterbacks, an absolute historically injured offensive line, you never had your top 4 wide receivers together. You lose Aaron Donald, like you're not going to win that way. You're just not. And then, so to have any level of health and just the young energy, I think is just a massive game changer this year. And you could tell right away in week 1, which was really cool to see.
No, definitely. And, for me, it's like, I was just hoping for a competitive match, for me, like going into the game, just with everybody hyping up the Seahawks, everybody saying like, oh, we don't have a chance, blah, blah. I came into the game just fully expecting for us, like, to not be super competitive. I was pleasantly surprised. I was pleasantly wrong. I honestly thought we were going to lose that game, but I'm here for everything, dude. Like even if we would have lost, I still would have been like, optimistic because that's just who I am, and I love this team.
Yeah.
And our secondary like held its own against DK. Dude, DK Metcalf's such a freaking baby. Like
That's why he
he's
wears a
like
Dookie, bro.
right.
That's why
That's
he
what
wears
I'm
a Dookie.
saying. It's like,
Yeah.
and then who was it? Was it Witherspoon? He threw on the ground.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a cheap
and I
shot,
was just
man.
like,
Like no
yeah, and
business.
I'm like, what are you doing? And it was just kind of amazing to just watch that and just kind of
Yeah.
like see how just that whole team just fell apart. After
Yeah.
everybody was like hyping them up, everybody was just like, oh, the Seahawks are gonna run over the Rams, especially in Seattle, and it's like everybody just
Well,
doubted us, and it's just so awesome just to like be able to like look back and just be like, what do you got to say now? You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the thing too, is it like I kind of talked about it a little bit that like last year, the two quarterbacks that we played against the Seahawks, we fielded the Wolf and then Baker Mayfield. And we lost by a total of 7 points in both games. And so like you take that out and then just put in Matthew Stafford. Yeah, those are wins. You know what I mean? Like really, look at that Week 18 game. It was that close where I think that if Matthew Stafford plays in that game, we win that game. Like he's that much better than Baker Mayfield. Enough for it to maybe not go to overtime like it did, and for the Rams to lose it in overtime like they did. So yeah, absolutely, it's right there, man. But this, I'm really not surprised by it, man. Like I kind of felt good going in with the understanding that like this is still a young team and we might see a lot of bad mistakes, which is absolutely on the horizon. Like there's going to be a game or two where we're like, oh my God, like we know we're better than this. We've seen it, but it's just going to be some young mistakes and stuff like that. And that's the thing that I liked about this though, is that like we now know that we can see mistakes and it's not just going to derail the game. And that's like no disrespect or trash talk towards Goff intended here, but we also used to know that on the first drive, if he threw 3 incompletions, it was like, okay, we're going to really need Todd to have a good day today if we're going to win this game. That was just the way it was. But in this game, we saw Byron Young open with taking some pretty rough angles. Darian Kendrick gave up that touchdown on what was a pretty sweet route by Metcalf, but it's like that kind of stuff. You can't let him get that wide open on you like that. We see Tutu kind of just not finishing routes. That there was a pass that Stafford had that kind of was like, it was a beautiful pass. And I thought that like from the angle that they showed from behind Stafford looked like it should have been there. And it looked like Tutu slowed up, and then Puka with the drop and all that stuff. But then all of those guys just took that and just shoved it aside and then went after it, man, and made plays. And that's exactly what you want to see in that. Like they had their mistakes. They had their rookie or young guy, because not obviously Kendrick isn't a rookie, but it's like they had their little young guy flaws and stuff like that. But then turned it around and flipped it and then it was okay. So that showed me that this team has that in them. And so that every game we enter this year, it's like it doesn't matter if one guy gives up a touchdown, it might be a pick next time. So that's I'm loving the energy, man. That's exactly it right there. Is that they were making mistakes early, and then right away we're like, oh no, let's just fix that. Like we can play better than that, and then did it. That was awesome.
Yeah, and like kind of like what you're saying, it's like, especially like for me, the whole short-term memory with our team, especially with Puka, dude. Like when
Yeah.
he had that drop, and it was literally like Stafford threw it right onto his chest, and he just drops it, and
Mm-hmm.
I was when he did that, I was like, ah, crap, here we go, you know what I mean? And for him to just go back out there with a smile on his face and just kind of like not even think about it, he goes back out there and makes those catches, and that I want to say it was a third down, and I believe it was in the second half, and Stafford throws it, and I thought he was going to get tackled, but he's able to shake off a guy and get the yardage to
Yeah.
get the first down.
Almost a
And I was
touchdown.
just like, yeah, dude. And I was like, oh man, okay. I
Yeah.
see you, Puka.
Dude,
That was just awesome. Like he never gave up on the play. He doesn't give up. And he did take some hits.
Yeah.
He threw his body out there.
You could tell he was feeling it. He was getting up a little slow and stuff like that, but he kept getting up and just coming back. And he was like, all right, man, like we got ourselves a guy, man. That's how I
Exactly.
felt about it right away. And then there was a couple plays there where it was like, is this yellow line on the field? Like he seemed to be hitting it so perfectly to get first downs, man. I love that stuff. That's cool. And that's just awareness. That's just him knowing where he's at on the field, where the situation, how far he needs to go for the sticks. Is like that's just awareness right there. Love to see it, man, especially out of a young guy like that. Puka's he, like it's one of those things where it's like it's hard to be like he's the man. He's like he's the guy now, but because it was one game, like
Right.
let's kind of let's let him get a season under his belt before we're crowning him and stuff like that. But like all indications, man, that he is that guy. So I'm excited to see it.
Him and Avila,
Oh
dude.
yeah, dude, Steve is
I
so dope.
Dude, I was watching someone made like an appreciation Avila post today,
Yeah.
and I watched all his blogs. I'm like, dude, like he is such a fighter and he does not give up, and he just like, he continuously just pushes the guy off, and I'm just like, oh dude, he's the guy,
Oh
you
yeah.
know? And
Finally
it's
hit
like,
on an offensive line pick, it looks like.
yeah. And I was just so happy and so excited for that. And that was one of my biggest concerns, going into the game. It's just like, is our O line going to be able to hold up? And that was like my biggest thing. Like, please just keep Matthew Stafford up, like
What about
because
Bloom at right guard? What do you think of that?
to be determined,
Yeah,
first game. So
I like him there.
Biggest. We're gonna see this next week.
Yeah.
This next
Oh,
week
for
is gonna
sure.
be
Yeah.
an
Speaking
actual.
of that, I mean, it's literally it's in the comments already. It's a test next week for sure. And Big Rob on the right side there, he's got his hands full, especially with Bosa officially coming back now, inking that deal. Yeah, it's gonna be that's a test next week for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, like, and I don't know if you got to see any of that, like San Fran versus Pittsburgh game, but I did, and it
Oh,
was
man.
just
I was
like,
working, unfortunately. This is like the only Sunday that I have to work because we do like our kickoff party, and so I had to do that. So
yeah. So I watched that game. There's a lot of Niner fans around my neighborhood, but um, I watched it, and it's like, if it's not George Kittle, if it's not Debo, it's Brandon Ayuk, it's
yeah,
Christian McCaffrey. They have all these different guys that will like just pick you apart, dude. And it's like we really need to be like on our A game to beat these guys. And I hate is such a strong word, man, but I just hate the 49ers with every fiber of my being. Like,
yeah, it's
I don't know,
reasonable.
dude. It's just like it's just one of those things because it's like I feel like they are like the worst fan base ever, and they are just so cocky, and they're almost as bad as Cowboy fans.
I
And
put him in that same. There's three fan bases that I lump together as like just the most obnoxious group of humans, and it's Niners, Cowboys, and Eagles. Those fans are all absurd. Like it's just too over the top for me. I can't do
oh yeah,
it.
oh yeah, and it's just like just watching that game is just made me think. I'm like, damn, okay, you guys, yes, you guys are good during the regular season. When it comes to
Yeah,
the playoffs, though, you guys get your butts kicked every single year. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like,
Well, and the thing too that I'm looking at for them this year, and we'll see if it catches them. But that's a very, very top heavy roster. They've got real monsters at the top end, but no depth. They've got Debo, Ayuk, Kittle. Who else outside like McCaffrey? Who else in running back? Like
right.
in their on their defense, Bosa, Warner, and there's a couple other guys in there. But like, then who? Like, if those guys go out, I don't know who's coming in.
Yeah, watching the game, I didn't hear anybody say about anybody call out Ebukam. I don't know if he's still on the team.
I thought so.
Yeah, I didn't hear his name, so
He
I don't
was
know.
in recently, but when was that? I think it was in preseason.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's the thing, man. Is like they're top heavy. So if they get some injuries, I think they fall off a cliff, and they're going to be one of those teams that are just kind of like, oh well, we lost a season injury, but they have a lot of money tied into that top level of guys. And there was a video that I saw that was listing it off, and it was like the highest paid defensive player, the highest paid running back, highest paid or one of the highest paid tight ends, one of the highest paid wide receivers with Debo, one of the highest paid linebackers with Warren. And it's like this is going to bust. Like that bubble will burst. And it's like this is the last year for Ayuk. And of course, it's like that's kind of looking ahead and stuff like that. And we got to worry about him today, where Ayuk is literally still here. But like he's a guy that they probably just won't be able to afford to keep back, like to bring back. And then that takes a hit on your offense. And so, yeah, man, I think that injuries this year will derail them. And then I think that their realistic window, because they have a quarterback that's on on a Mr. Irrelevant contract right now, so they do have a little bit more wiggle room. But it will close pretty quick, I think, with the money that they've been handing out. I don't think that they've made good financial decisions.
Well, yeah,
But
and
also, who
especially
am
when,
I?
like,
You know, I'm just a dude who's
no.
in his apartment in Colorado talking trash about the 49ers offense. Like,
Well, I mean, yeah, but it's like everybody like can say, like, oh well, the Rams did all that. They spent a lot of money on, and they're super top heavy. I'm like, right, but we got a Super Bowl out of it.
yeah, it
Like,
works though. Like
you
that's what
guys,
you do, right? That is what it was for, right? Was
exactly,
for a Super Bowl, and that worked. So what? Like that's
exactly.
like no,
Forever,
like
like
it was it.
any argument or anybody for like to say like, hey,
Yeah.
well, you guys, went all in. You guys did all this. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
right, but you see that hardware we just got? Like, what do you guys have to show for it?
It's like, yeah, and why haven't y'all done that yet then? Like
Right.
it's
Exactly.
I don't know, man. Like you think Bucks fans are mad that they got Brady and went for it all and got a ring, and then now it's I mean, they did win, but like they don't look like they're Super Bowl contenders. You think they're mad about it? No,
No,
no one's
no,
mad
for
about it.
sure. Yeah.
No one's mad. Yeah, they say it too. It's like, oh, they bought their ring. Go buy yours then. What are you doing?
Exactly. Like if you can buy a ring, go why haven't the Cowboys done it? You know?
Like, dude, I've watched my team play in 4 Super Bowls and win 2. You weren't even alive the last time your team like won one. Like
Yeah, exactly.
beat by the Chiefs, but that's all you got. Like, come on now, man, get out of here.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I hate doing
Oh,
that trash talk though because I didn't do anything.
right.
I just
Right.
watched. That's like
How are you feeling about our running game?
I think schematically it was just kind of soft and like, or not soft, but just kind of like unorganized. It seemed like, but also I'm going to chalk it up to a few things of LaFleur coming in, Mike LaFleur. I think that he's going to need a few weeks to kind of understand his guys because I think the way he was using Cam Akers was just not the way that you use Cam Akers. You got to give him some space, and he was slamming him right up that A gap. So it's like that's just not how he works best.
Yeah.
And then you also got to consider the lack of continuity that we have on our offensive line right now. So obviously, no boom what came from left tackle and then missing a bunch of the season to now right guard. We have a new left guard, new left tackle. Like there was just a little bit of a shakeup, and so we need to get them some continuity, get them a few games under their belt, and I think that they'll do a better job as the season rolls on.
Yeah, and I felt the same way. And it's like, you know, kind of goes back to like what you said when Jared Goff was our quarterback. And it's like you kind of knew in like the first few plays, like if we were gonna have a good game or if we were gonna have a bad game. And
Yeah,
sometimes I feel like Sean McVay is so predictable in that way where it's like, oh, you're gonna be running the ball right now. You know what I mean? And it's just like, why try to go down the middle? Like just go like
he just needs
go
a little bit of
outside.
space. He needs to be able to
Yeah.
make somebody miss. Like slamming him into a pile, it's just not his strong suit. Like he just needs to be able to make a guy miss. He needs to be able to hit a cut on somebody and then go. And that's where he is always thrived.
He told Cam Akers to focus his inner Marshawn Lynch, during
He's
those
not
plays.
though. He's not that guy. Like
Right.
Kyron's
Exactly.
more that guy. Like he's
Oh
more of
yeah,
the
dude. Chiron was like bouncing off of people.
yeah,
Like
that was awesome to see him. And Kyron is great. Like that's they're a cool combo. And I realize that like a lot of people are like down on Cam based on one game, but like I'm not yet. Like he ended last year really strong.
right.
This game, each game has its own identity, and averages don't just automatically carry over. So I'm excited to see what he does as the season rolls on, and it might be a few weeks until he really hits that game because, like, obviously we play a really good defense this week. We play a really good defense in week 3. We play not a great defense in week 4, I guess, with Indy, so that's good. And then we got the Philadelphia Eagles. So I mean, it doesn't get easier, and it really could be until like week 8 or 9, 10 that we really see him like really fit into his groove this season, and that's okay. It's fine. It doesn't have to happen day one, you know.
Yeah, no, for sure. And for me, I'm just looking for Cam Akers to get into. Like, I feel like Cam Akers is one of those running backs that needs to constantly have the ball
Yeah,
to get into a groove to actually make those big plays. And it's just like we're trying to still do like the running back, by committee approach, which is fine. But it's like if you're expecting Cam Akers to just like be that committee back, I feel like it's just gonna be a little tough for him. But I was really happy with Kyron, like I said, and Puka Nakua, dude, like he was like I knew he was gonna do awesome. I was just like, and now everybody's just talking about him, and I'm really curious to see how it's gonna work when Cooper Cup does come back.
Dude,
That's
straight up.
dude. That's what I'm just
Straight up,
saying.
man. Because
Yeah.
even Bryson was getting in there, man. Like obviously Higgs, Higgs is still Higgs, man. He never lights it up, but he gets the first down when you need him to. You know, like he's not like he's not a George Kittle or a Travis Kelsey where he's hurdling people and all stuff, but he's a damn good tight end. He does what he needs to do, and he picks up first downs. They only had like
Oh
three
yeah.
catches, but they were all perfect. Like they were all needed, you know. So I love that kind of stuff, and he's just a good leader too. I like having him just in the locker room. He's just a good dude. So
Yeah.
but
How
yeah,
are you liking
that Cup is
Tutu Atwell?
what's that?
Tutu Atwell, what do you think?
Dude, I was very pleased with Tutu in this game. He looked like he was just playing with a different passion in this game than we've seen before. And honestly, this goes my whole like vibe on Tutu goes all the way back to the very first time I saw his press conference from him. Like his first locker room press conference, and I was like, this is not one of our guys. Like he just had this attitude like he was better than everybody kind of thing. And it was like it rubbed me the wrong way, man. I told a couple people about that like in different threads and stuff like that. It's like there's something about his attitude, man. It's bothering me. And then he didn't do anything on the field, and it was like, yeah, like that's what I expect from a person who has that kind of attitude. So to see this year, that was his rookie season. So to see this year where he kind of seemed just to have a new energy, and the way his routes look cleaner, he looked faster. He looks a little bit stronger, maybe even a little bit more sturdy. He didn't like get hit and then just like fly across the field.
Yeah,
Like
I
we've
don't know if
seen.
you noticed, but like when he would get hit, the last couple of years, like he would just,
He looks like
like
a
he would
rag
just get,
doll, bro. Like he's
yeah,
straight up. Like he would just get hit and he was just flopping around out there.
yeah.
This year that
And
wasn't.
now
This
it's
year
like
that didn't happen.
it looked like he could take a hit. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
Tutu,
Yeah,
and
I'm
then,
very pleased, man. I'm very excited now to kind of watch his season unfold and see what the 2023 Tutu season does look like, because it looks like it could be pretty cool.
yeah, I'm very excited to see him play. I'm very excited for our team and just to keep this going. And I cannot I'm so optimistic for this next game, dude. Like I'm very
It's so
excited.
funny. I am not now. I think that doing what we just did to Seattle, that makes me nervous going into this game, where it's like now,
Yeah.
like, are we gonna have like a CU beats TCU and then struggles against Nebraska in the first half
Right.
kind of thing, like, and I'm not going to compare San Fran to Nebraska. That's rude, but even that's a little too much. But yeah, to like kind of come in, maybe we're a little soft, maybe we're a little cocky, maybe all these guys come in like, damn, dude, we're good at the NFL, man. This is awesome. Like,
See,
so,
but that's the thing where I'm so excited about, man, because it's like if you think about it, most of our guys are rookies. They don't know that rivalry between San Fran and
they
Rams,
will.
right?
They will, because all
That's
those
what I'm
Niners
saying.
guys are there. So
Oh yeah, exactly. But everybody, I feel like they're just gonna play loose and free. They're gonna be at SoFi. It's gonna be like their first home opener, like legit first home opener. So it's like I feel like we have a good opportunity to like just take it to them. Like we've been beaten by them, during the regular season for too long, and I'm just very excited. Like I cannot wait. Like I wish it was freaking Friday already, dude. Like I want it to be
I know.
Sunday
I
already.
mean, I don't, because from front to back, my week of like Ram showcase is a little busy, but I don't. So to fast forward it, no, pump the brakes on that, man. But dude, this season though, and that's the thing, is like if it doesn't work out this week and we get like maybe say we get smoked this week, it's 40-3 or something like that. All Rams fans are going to go immediately back to that offseason mindset where they're like, see, I knew it. And it's like last week you were just like, you were just hyping us up. Like you can't go back and forth like that. So I try not to get into like the whole fan thing, because like, first of all, it doesn't really matter like what fans think and say and stuff like that, especially if it's just like on Twitter. And like that's why there's only one person banned from coming on to Ram Showcase Live, and it's only because he's a troll. And Ram Showcase is not a platform for trolls. There are platforms for trolls. It's called social media. That's where those people thrive, and that's not here. They don't need me also, you know what I mean? So, but that's like the fans that are like just, I think, reasonable and that's such a broad term. And I don't mean anything negative by that to anybody who is on the obnoxious side of their fandom, but like, and you can be negative, you can be like bummed out, you like can be not confident that we're going to do well, but like, don't be a dick about it. You know?
Right.
There's that one person who I saw on Twitter that was mad that we won because they want Caleb Williams so bad. That blows
Dude,
my mind.
and I mean, obviously, like huge USC fan.
Yeah.
I would love nothing more to get Caleb Williams. But me, because I'm so prideful and I love the Rams so much, I could not stand losing. Like, I could not stand losing. Like, I want us to try and win every single time. You know, like, if we lose and we try our hardest, I can accept that.
Yes, absolutely.
But to actively go and tank the game, like, no, I can't do that. Like, especially because it's not fair to the players, right? They're on this team to try to win, dude. Like, that's not fair to them. They worked their asses off to get to this point.
Dude, absolutely. You play to win the game, man. And no one out there, like, and tanking is only possible, I think, by front offices. And even then, they can only try to tank. You can't actually do it because players, coaches, they don't want to.
Exhibit A, Texans.
Dude, straight up. Yeah. Players don't want to, though. Players don't want. Even, dude, like, I'll say this, too. Even the Cardinals played pretty well.
Dude, they did.
Like, they gave Washington a game, and that game was sold out, high energy game because it's, brand new ownership in Washington. First time they've sold out a game in years because they're just excited they don't have that butt crack of a human running things anymore. And so, like, the energy
was that in Washington?
Yeah. And
okay, they're just excited not to have poop water on them.
Dude, yeah. That's the Dan Snyder of stadiums is what they play in, man. It's ridiculous out there. But hopefully, man, that fan base can get some cool stuff going for them in the future, and kind of this is like the first step of them actually kind of getting some cool stuff. And I say that because I'm a Rams fan, and I think that I remember and I don't really have any negative emotions towards like the Edward Jones Dome, but like it kind of looked like a warehouse to me, and like I called it that, and people hated that when I called it the warehouse. But like just being like, we go like darker uniforms, which I like. I like those uniforms, but we go like darker colors. We're in this dingy little like lit stadium in a city that like
I called it a sweatshop.
What's up?
I called it a sweatshop.
Yeah, dude, and yeah, it's like, and then from that we get like obviously it's the unfortunate news of Georgia dying and stuff like that. So then Stan takes over full time, and then eventually he starts kicking over those dominoes to get the hell out of there. And now we got like super flashy, cool uniforms, super flashy, cool stadium, super flashy and cool coach, and like all this stuff, man. We go like all big now. And like, because we saw this team go from like winning 6 games in 3 years to now, 2 Super Bowls in a couple of years and winning one and stuff like that, and having a strong team, a fun team to watch and stuff like that, and an awesome venue to go see the team play in. Like, I do wish that for other fan bases now that are like maybe not in that yet, like Washington. Like, I hope that those fans get to experience what we got to experience, which was shedding off that like crappiness of your franchise and like getting some brighter days. So I'm excited for them.
Yeah, I am too. And, like no ill will towards Washington at all. Like, they're a fan base that deserves some good fortunes. And as long as you're not playing against my team, I'm cool with you,
But I'm very much that way too. Yeah. But yeah, that's I don't know. Cause I'm also like, obviously we get into the division rivalries and stuff like that, but like, I also just love football, man. I love this game. I love the environment of it. I love the chess match that it is, that there's 22 dudes out there. The offense calls a play, the defense calls a play, and both just kind of hope that they called the right thing. The players execute it. And I love that.
Did you see when Aaron Donald was about to get to Geno Smith and he was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, loved it. That was my favorite thing ever. I love that.
It was so amazing.
That's so funny.
I'm like, that's how every human should react, if Aaron Donald's like looking at you.
I said earlier, it's like that's the proper response to Aaron Donald running free. He was going, "Oh my God." I think my favorite moment though was when it was pretty early in the game, and Stafford got knocked down. It wasn't a sack or anything because he didn't get sacked, but he got knocked down. And the way he like stood up and did this like little kick step, I was like, "Yo!"
I think my favorite was whenever they tried to do a flea flicker.
Oh my god, that was that play. I think.
Was it?
I think it was.
Okay,
I have
because
to go
yeah,
watch the game again.
they were rushing him, and he threw him back. Stafford got it. He sees the guy coming at him. He just throws it on the ground. I don't think he gets thrown on the ground though.
I, I'm I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see if I can watch the game on my NFL Plus. Because if I can, I'm gonna rewatch it tonight. And
Oh man, that's just one of those games where like you just watch and you just like get a smile on your face. It's like
it
up there
really
with
is.
the
It's so nice.
2018 NFC Championship.
Nice.
You
I
know,
can watch it. Sweet.
like
Yo, plug for NFL Plus. This is so dope, dude.
and it's only like $5, isn't it?
Dude, it's so cheap. It's not an expensive at all. That's so sick, dude. I'm gonna watch the Rams games 80 times all year. I'm gonna watch all of them so many times.
Now,
Hell
if
yeah. I
only
usually
Sunday
have to like
Ticket was like
pirate them.
that.
What's that?
I said, if only Sunday Ticket was $5.
Dude, honestly. Well, this one's got Red Zone too, which is badass. I've got that package.
Oh, there you
So
go.
like, so like all morning before the Rams, I'm just watching Red Zone, and then I watch it all the way to the bar, and then I always watch the Rams. That's why I don't want to do the stream, is because I'm just like I want to get sucked into football. You know what I mean? Like Sundays
I think
are for the
for
Rams.
me, it's because I got so used to you. Like, oh, I knew when like the Rams game was almost on because you had your live streams right before the game.
Yeah. I don't
And
know,
I
man.
think
You
that
make me want to do it, but also I don't. I don't.
I get it. I get it. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, dude, like it was just something like, I looked forward to, and it was awesome that you did it, but I totally understand that where you're coming from. Cause for me, like I have a routine on, Ram Sunday. I do my gym, and then I come home, I decorate, I freaking put my Rams and my inflatable Rampage on. I freaking put my flag up. Like it's a whole routine. And then I
Dude,
watch,
so I guess
the family watch games.
maybe I'll see if somebody else wants to do it, man. If
There
somebody
you
else
go.
wants to go live on Ram Showcase on game days,
Hey,
and then I'll
there
be
you
a fan.
go.
I'll watch it. Oh,
All right.
that'd be so
Exactly.
funny. I'm gonna get a few comments in here, man. While you're here, so first of all, Juice Man, who, dude, jacked over here. So what happened to the new uniforms? We did get word pretty early in the offseason that we are not doing new uniforms, but we should get some next year. What I am expecting, I'll be like, this is just my Joe Stradamus prediction over here, is that I think that we actually see an update to our current uniforms as well. I think at the blue, we'll lose the gradient. I think at the horns on the shoulder, we'll get a little bit more pronounced because they are there, but they're kind of like, they're not, you know what I mean? So I think that that'll get an update as well. And I think that we'll get a new uniform. I think it'll be a yellow. That's just my guess. I really don't want to see a black jersey. Black is not in our color scheme. And I think that when you do that, it's very tacky. We saw that with Kansas this last week. Those uniforms were god awful. So terrible out there. Your black is not in your color scheme. And they did like a partial logo on their helmet, just the head of the Jayhawk. It was like, what are you like? Who did this? Like, it's like these people with graphics degrees need to be stopped, man. They're going too far. All right.
Dude, honestly, like when it came to that, like especially like I don't know how you feel about our new like this new logo has grown on me.
Dude, same.
I'm always gonna
like
be I'm always gonna be a fan of the Rams head.
Yeah.
But I'm really liking this now. But in the
Mhm.
beginning I freaking hated it.
Yeah.
And I really honestly wish that the Rams would have done like some sort of like contest with the fans to like submit some ideas for a logo, because I've seen some like on Instagram and Twitter, and dude, there's some badass looking Rams logos.
The only thing that I'll say is I will not rock fan logos. I'm not going to rock a fan made Ram logo and call it LA Rams. I can't do it. I just can't. I don't know. Like even the one like the Ram head that is edited to have the LA logo in it, I think that's so dumb.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, I love that logo. It looks so cool.
I think it's awful. I think it looks so bad, dude. I think from like a graphics like design perspective, it's like, oh, there's a reason they didn't do that. Like obviously, like what the hell? It's like I don't know, it's off centered, stuff like that, and like it's like LA, and then the Ram head's like, or it's like it's god awful, dude.
Well, at least for me, right? Like I know you're a huge fan of it, but I could not, and I do not have one of these jerseys. The freaking bone white, dude.
Love the
I
bone.
can't do that. I
Bone's
cannot. I
so
just,
dope.
it looks so ugly,
I've
bro.
got my Rob Havenstein bone jersey in the mail right now, dude.
Oh,
It's on its way. So
did you get
pumped
it on
about it.
sale?
Yeah, dude, I was trying to find like I was like, all right, like I need a new jersey. It's like let me like there were so many young guys I really wanted, but I was like, I don't know, man. Like let me go with one of the old school guys. And I kind of kicked around Higby. Obviously Donald is always a good pick. Getting every version of his jersey is something that can be awesome. But yeah, I was like, you know what? Rob Havenstein, one of two remaining St. Louis Rams on the roster. Let me go ahead and lock it in, dude. Like he's just been holding it down at right tackle for so long. I feel like I like to be a little bit unique. All right. I've never seen anybody rocking a Rob Havenstein jersey out in the wild. So it's like, you know what? I'm be that guy.
Right.
And I love the bone. Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I
I
think it'll
know.
go away. I think it's only here temporarily, but I like it
Well,
a lot.
yeah, I think, don't we only have like 2 games that we're wearing the bone?
Yeah, because it's our alternate. You're only allowed to wear your alternate up to 3 times a year, and just we just choose to. I don't know.
Well, I will forever be grateful that we wore our white jerseys in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, you have
Like,
to.
I feel like those are like the cleanest, nicest, crisp jerseys in the NFL.
Also, they're
Like,
good luck.
right.
Yeah,
Like, it's just
we can
awesome.
only win when we're on white on yellow. Those are the rules. All right.
Right, exactly. Is it the statistic where it's like if it's like blue on blue, like we always lose or something like that?
Well, we just beat the butt cheeks off the Broncos in blue and blue on Christmas Day, so I don't know
True.
about that, but
True.
yeah, that was the thing for a while though. Was blue on blue was bad luck. I also just think no matter what the situation is, I think same color jersey with same color pants, bad luck. I think that sucks every time. I never like that look. No matter what the color is, no matter what the team is. The only way that I find it kind of acceptable is if it's white on white, because that's like okay, like that's fine. But
Tell
like
that to
blue
the
on blue,
Bengals.
what's up?
Said tell that to the Bengals.
Dude, the Cardinals,
Oh,
they only match them now. All of their combos, it's red, red, black, black, white, white. Like it's like guys, get creative at all.
right.
Like what the hell is out here? But yeah, that's I don't know. I want to see. Maybe I'll ask you this one because I was telling this to Peo and Rams house that I want to see a combination where we wear white jersey on bone pants. I just feel like that would be super clean.
Dude, that was like so weird.
Dude, bone and white, man. I did it for a graphic. Let me see. Last year for the Seahawks game, the last game of the season. Did this.
Was there enough contrast?
Yeah, that's what I like about it, man. Because it's subtle, but it's real. I think it looks classy, dude. Let me see. Let me find my graphics here. Oh, that's so. Here we're gonna do it. Just you can look at my phone here. I think that
Oh,
looks sick,
okay.
dude. I
Okay.
love those colors together. But also, I am admittedly biased on bone. I think it's sick. I love it. I want my car to get painted bone, man. I think it's badass.
There you go.
It's black right now, so it'd be difficult, but anyway.
Right. Dude, my car's like royal blue. I just need to put a Rams horn
Oh,
on it.
nice. Hell yeah, dude. You definitely do. By the way, I'm gonna pull this one up while you're here. We're gonna figure this out. We're gonna figure this out because AJ is in the comments chilling right now and wants to do a T-shirt giveaway. So we're going to give away a Ram Showcase shirt. I'm going to talk with him. I want to figure out exactly how I want to do this because we do have the live streams. That's always a possibility. We also have, actually, I'm going to pull this down real fast. I'm basically just telling you this right now. All right. Don't mind everybody else. All right. So some changes going to Ram Showcase this week. I got hit up this week pretty quick. It was kind of rapid fire how it all happened. But it's an internet radio station that wants to pick up the show, but it has to be either 30 minutes or an hour. So I didn't want to shorten, so I'm going to lengthen a little bit. And I think I'm going to bring back fan quesos for the show, like in show. So that will give me enough length, and then like depending on however many, like I might miss some, I might not go into all of them, but I'll kind of go through beforehand and kind of kind of pick them out or whatever. But that'll be a thing. But that could also be a avenue for the giveaway. So AJ, man, if you've got ideas, let me know. Or dude, Edwin, do you got any ideas? How should I do this giveaway?
I mean, like, I remember when I first started listening to you, dude, like, you had like you were trying so many different things.
Yeah.
And there was just so many. Like, I would go into like a week, and I would listen to you, and you were trying to figure out a day where you wanted to do everything. And
Yeah.
so, like, one week I'd go, and you would be like talking to a different fan from another team,
Mm-hmm.
or there would be weeks where you go in and you had fan quesos. Some weeks you didn't have fan quesos. Like, you were just trying to figure everything out. Like,
It's all Ram Showcase has always been it's never been finished. It's never been like, oh,
right,
this is what it is now. It's always been fluid.
dude. And just like the Rams, I'm here for the whole fucking. I'm here for the whole thing, dude. Like, I will always be here, and I hope you know. Like, I'm one of those people. Like, I love the show, and I love what you do for the community, and I love that you're a huge fan for the Rams, and you're just as passionate as all of us. That's what keeps me coming back to watching your show, because you are just someone that cares about the team. You know what I mean? And it's like, and that's what I gravitate towards too. Like, I don't care, like, if you're still figuring it out. Everybody's still figuring it out, right? But you, like, the consistent part is just you being that Rams fan, and
It's
and
just my
I,
outlet, man.
yeah, and that's who you are as a person, dude. And I freaking love that. For me, I really enjoyed the segments where you would pick a question. I don't know if you remember this. You would always pick a question every week, and you would ask the Rams fans, "Hey, Rams fans, this is the question for the week. Drop a comment, and I will pick someone, at the end of the week, before the game, and that's who wins." I really enjoyed those. I participated every single time, and it was cool because it gave everybody enough time to give you an answer. You know what I mean? Because not only the people that were able to come in at your live or at your show when it dropped, it gave people enough opportunity to go in there like later, after work or before work, to get their answers in. So I really like that.
It's a good point. And being on Mondays for my live stream does kind of limit myself, and I know that. But also, I work nights, man. Like, I'm the night guy at a radio station.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so limited in my availability on being able to hit prime time gaps of like when people are on the internet. You know what I mean? So like, I'm usually just at work. So
I did a double take today when I saw your notification on YouTube, and it said you were going to go live at 8 p.m. and I was like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
At 8 p.m.
Yeah. Yeah, well, the plan, because I had to go to Denver today, so I was up there for a little while, and then I got tickets to the Rocky Mountain Vibes. That's our baseball team out in Colorado Springs, and so I had tickets for that. So that's why I set it so late, because it's their first playoff game in team history. Was supposed to be today, it got postponed, but
Nice.
that's why I scheduled it so late, was so that I could give myself time to get home and after that game and then do it. And then it didn't even happen. And then I'm just kind of like waiting here. But it's like, I can't move it up now. Like, everybody's expecting it later. Like, so I like that though, of asking a question. And it was never a hard question. It wasn't like a trivia or anything like that. It was always
No,
like
it was just like, a lot of times it was just like someone's opinion, like, hey, what's your favorite Rams memory? What's your like favorite Rams player currently, or not currently? Like,
that's a good one. We can definitely try something like that. AJ's suggestion is score prediction Price is Right rules. So closest to without going over. That is, I guess, a little bit harder when it's when you're dealing with two scores, and it's like, if it's the same amount but different scores, then like that's kind of where it can get a little bit weird. But I do like it. But for submissions, that's something I'd have to consider there, and where those would go.
That's where your live would come in right before the game. You would always ask like, hey, put your predictions here, before the game.
Also, score predictions, and I like that he says Price is Right rules, because that means that somebody will win. Because normally, if you do score predictions, no one's gonna win. Like, it's so hard. Who had 30-13 in this game? Like, dude,
right?
Nobody. I think I said 16-13. Like, I was like, I don't know. We're probably not gonna score that much. But like,
yeah, exactly. I'm like, where are we gonna get our points from? Turnovers?
30. Yeah. And I got people in my comments that are like, if the Rams don't score 35 a game, we're not going to win one. Like, all right. I don't know. I'm gonna think about it. AJ, dude, AJ, this is badass, man. I'm excited. I love doing giveaways, man. I kind of stopped wanting to get rid of my stuff. That's why I stopped doing them. Like, it's like I'm gonna run out of Ram stuff eventually.
When are you gonna do that Greg Zerline jersey giveaway?
You can. I told you it's gonna be written to you in my will. So once I die, man. That's what
I will forever be jealous of that. Like, I will never forget when you went on the show and you're like, guys, look what I got. And you freaking showed it to everybody. I'm like, oh my God. Greg Zerline was like one of my favorite.
That's badass, dude. Did you see the actual video that I did, the live stream of it, of me unboxing it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's fun, man.
I was there for that.
I kept trying to find them for this one because they have the rams.com/auctions. And sometimes that's there. Sometimes they take it down, and then sometimes there's nothing really good there. But yeah, that was where I found that. It was just $200. Mystery player.
Yes, I know. I got the notification for it. Like, hey, Rams fan, we're having an auction for the Super Bowl jerseys, and I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do that. Never got around to it, and they all got sold out by the time I got on there. I'm like,
I was in on it so fast, man. The only thing that bums me out is the guy that has the Mark Barron, he wouldn't trade with me, and he wouldn't take trade and cash for the Jeezy. He wouldn't. He just said, and it was like an absurd amount of money where it was like, all right, dude, these were $200. I know that they were because I bought one too. It's like, get out of here.
You're like, calm down.
Yeah, it's like, all right, bro. Yeah. Get out of here with that. But it was like, I wanted the Mark Barron so bad, obviously, but hey, I ain't mad at the Jeezy. And I would have done it trade and cash. I would have done that for a Barron.
I wish I would have been that guy.
Dude. And I kept kind of upping my offer, but he was like, I don't want to trade. He's like, I just want the cash, and this is how much. And I can't remember the exact number. It was to the point where I was like, I'm not spending that, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So it kind of reminds you of those people that have season tickets for the Rams games that sell them every year.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I would never sell my season tickets if I was there.
I don't like it. I've got an uncle that does that, where he sold my dad his tickets. My dad's a Chargers fan, last year or whatever like that. And then when my dad went to the game, he was like, hey, thanks. That was really fun. And he was like, cool. How are the seats? It was like, they're your seats.
He's never been to them. He's never used them.
And I comment was like, what? So, and I get it. Some people use it as a business decision, and some people try to, just trying to, or to give them away for things. I know there's plenty of that as well. People do them for giveaways and stuff, but.
I know, dude. But though, if I was living, if I was in Los Angeles, and I always think about this, every single weekend, I would be tailgating. I would be a part of all of that.
Dude, 100%.
There would not be a weekend where I wasn't at SoFi.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Dude, I would even if those were out of town, because there's the Rams World Tour group that is full of awesome people. I love those guys, but they kind of go around to different places and just take over or whatever like that. But I almost would want to go to SoFi and just chill there. But also, I guess we do have another team that plays there, so maybe it's not possible.
Right.
Maybe I'd just be crashing a Chargers tailgate trying to watch a Rams game. They'd be like, get out of here.
You just wake up in your Rams gear and there's a bunch of Charger fans around. You're like, what are you guys doing at my house?
They're like, hey, whoa, whose house? What are you doing over here? Yeah. Oh, that's funny, man. Oh man. Well, I'm gonna weigh this on the giveaway because I might just add it into the show.
Did I see that he said that he's going to put the old Rams logo on it?
I think we're going original logo of Ram Showcase, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. I have that exact same shirt.
What color?
Black.
Nice. Hell yeah. I'm the only one that has. I got two grays. I got them to feel the materials. So I got this gray and a lighter gray one with the black logo. I love those. Are Sheriff Joe Bags exclusives, and AJ is the MVP for shipping those out. That's so dope. I love those. I wear my Ram Showcase shirts all the time. There was one week not that long ago where I I wore a different color Ram Showcase shirt to work every day. I got the blue one, I got the bone, I got the black, I got the gray. Like just
Nice.
the whole week just rocking different ones. Yeah, it's the one this logo here. So the original.
Hell yeah.
The original. Yeah. So these are awesome, man. I don't think I have any photos loaded on this computer. Otherwise, I'd put them up. But yeah, these shirts are absolutely awesome. I will confirm because people tend to ask me, and if AJ does have the information, he typically does, I do not, of what these shirts are and like the actual material. I know that was a conversation between me and AJ, and we went back and forth on that for a little while about like what we wanted it to be and what he was asking me, like kind of what my expectations were out of them and stuff like that. And definitely, yeah, comfort was top. I mean, I don't necessarily envision these being your game day wear or anything like that, but like, Saturday, you got to go run some errands. You got to hit a few places, man. Perfect thing to throw on, man. They're super comfortable. They're super awesome. I love these shirts.
Dude, I took mine, and I don't know if you saw the pictures. The beginning of the year in March, they were having Friday Night SmackDown in Portland, Oregon. So I took my son to his first WWE wrestling match, and I was rocking that Ram Showcase shirt the whole time. And I had a few people that are like, what is Rams Showcase? And I'm like, dude, it's like the best Rams YouTuber ever. What are you talking about? Like,
That's so funny, man. So we were, this story is so funny to me. I know this guy, and I didn't really realize I knew him at first. But we were at the Denver Zoo. I was with like my niece and my nephews, my mom, like stuff like that. I was kind of hanging out. I see this dude walking up, and he's got a Rams shirt on, and he's like going to just be walking past us or whatever like that. And I was like, oh, hey, man, cool shirt. He's like, wait, aren't you Sheriff Joe Bags? And my sister's like, oh, like losing her mind.
Right?
Yeah, it's fun, man. But because that's fun. Yeah. What I just did, I just commented in the in the comment section, because that's where those go. Ramshowcase.com, the merch page, if you are interested in snagging one yourself. But yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna write something up or figure something out for this week where we will do a t-shirt giveaway. It might be a score prediction. It might just be an enter to win kind of deal. But yeah, we'll get a shirt to somebody, and it'll be awesome.
Question should be like, what Rams player is gonna go off against the Niners?
Yeah, see, I like those because there's no wrong answers. Like, it doesn't matter what you say. Like, it just like just pick a Rams player, man. Like, who's your favorite player? Like, who do you think just looks super cool in a Rams uniform? You know what I mean? Like, because that could be just anything. Like, yeah. So yeah, we'll think of something cool for that. But if you don't want to leave it up to that chance of really, because we'll just randomize it. I'm not going to do the paper slips this time. We'll do a real randomizer on the computer. That paper stuff got ridiculous. I still find those slips.
I'm sure you do. I remember that.
Dude, I will find a slip. It'll just say it'll just say Jeff. And I'm like, all right. Like, all right. Well, Jeff didn't win, I guess. But yeah, that's so funny, dude.
Dude, did you ever get Carl a jersey?
No, I haven't yet. Where's he at? I don't know where he's at. But no, I should, though. I should get him a little jersey. I don't know why in my head he wears number 4. And maybe it's just because I'm
Jordan Fuller.
Yeah, maybe it's just because I'm a Fuller fan, but like, I don't know. I rock 9s, and he rocks 4s. I think that's reasonable. I've rocked 9s.
Yeah.
What's your number? What's your go-to?
Dude, my go-to number was 18, and then Cooper Kupp had to, switch on me. So, yeah. So actually, I've been rocking a lot of 10.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always liked 55. I was like 31, and I like 9.
Dude, I used to be 30 forever, especially when Todd Gurley was on the team. I would rock 30.
About those numbers specifically on Rams uniforms that I just think look really good. Like a 55 Laurinaitis, that's just a clean jersey to me, man. I just really like the way it looks.
Yeah. What about 13? Do you have any 13s?
I do have a 13, but it's like a hockey jersey. It's like a Super Bowl 34 hockey jersey. That's huge. It's like a 3X or something. So I don't really wear it, but
right.
But yeah, that's the only 13 that I own. I'm trying to think. So I've got a 31 Finnegan, 21 Jenkins.
You have a Finnegan jersey?
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. I love Finnegan, man. That was my guy.
There you go.
Dang, I'd have to go in and look. Actually, I have a Michael Sam. Who the hell can say that? Who else has a Michael Sam?
They made those?
Yeah, dude. oh, I'll rock that. What happened was I ordered a jersey, and then they were out of that one, and they told me to pick a new one, and I was looking through, and I was like, I don't know, and I was like, nothing really stuck out to me, and I was like, you know what, screw it, I'll get a Michael Sam. I haven't worn it, but like it's just I have it, like.
Dude, I got my kids, like I have two boys, and they wanted another Rams jersey, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna go and see if what I can find. Right, you know what I found for them?
What's that?
Two Nick Foles jerseys.
Oh man, that's awesome. Di- what I really need is to find a place to change the nameplates,
Oh
like
yeah,
to just get a nameplate. If I could get just a nameplate thing, then I could just make my jerseys, and then
dude, it's crazy because like if you go like on like Fanatics, like you can make your own jersey, but it's like $300, dude.
yeah, it's crazy expensive, man. Yeah,
And I'm like,
that's the problem with it. And they're cheaper now for some reason, like the materials and stuff like that. Like they're getting more expensive, but also worse, and that's weird. Like when Reebok was like the end of Reebok, and then the first part of the Nike takeover for jerseys. That was to me like the peak of like buying jerseys as fans because they weren't $1 billion to get the good stuff. And I don't know, they just fit real nice. I like the thick numbers, like they were just like real sturdy. It's like that, like printed on, like ones that I got it like SoFi. I got the Stafford jersey from SoFi, and it's like printed on and stuff like that. And it's like, it's fine. And it was super expensive, obviously, because it's the equipment room, and it was just, I don't know,
well,
kind of
yeah,
bummed
I
me
mean,
out.
like I had someone ask me like, because I have a buddy and we were like hanging out and someone came up or my friend's like, dude, don't you get tired of wearing like Ram stuff all the time? And I'm like, no, I generally do not get tired of wearing Ram stuff. Like
Yeah,
I will, like I don't know why, just I feel uncomfortable or I feel weird if I'm not wearing at least like a hat or a shirt or just something with the Rams
it's,
logo on it. Like
I'll
I
say
don't
it's
know,
very
I don't feel
minimum.
complete.
Yeah, absolutely. I say at the very, very minimum, I've at least got like my lanyard hanging out of my pocket. That's like
Like, people
minimum.
people need to know.
Absolutely, dude. You got to let the world know. And yeah, it's kind of funny. People comment on that to me a lot of like you're always in Rams gear. It's like, yeah, it's the
Yeah,
biggest part of my personality. You might as well steer into that skid, right? Like,
right. Just like when I die,
yeah,
whatever like people like think of me, like I want them to know, like, oh yeah, Edwin was a good dad and a Rams fan.
dude,
Like,
absolutely, man.
you know
Well,
what I
that's
mean?
funny too. It's like when the Rams beat the 49ers to go to the Super Bowl, I got so many messages. My phone absolutely lit up. And then not only just going to the Super Bowl, but then winning it. I was getting all these text messages from numbers I don't have saved that were just like, hey, dude, saw that the Rams just won. Thought about you, man. That's awesome. Like, and this is like from high school where it was like so hardcore of like, I don't care. I'm a Rams fan. I'm in it. I don't care if they suck right now. I'm in, like, I'm fully in. And to see so many people kind of like associate the Rams with me, it doesn't bother me at all. And I liked it when people see something that involves the Rams, they think of me. I love that. Like I think that's cool. So like, and people will see stuff like little, like my mom will be out somewhere. She saw this chair that I have right here. It's a camping chair, whatever. It's kind of over there. But she saw that like in a Walmart and just grabbed it because it was like, oh, I saw this. It was Rams. I thought you might need it. Like it was like, you're absolutely right, Mom.
Yeah, and it's the same situation for me, like living here in Oregon. Like there's so many Seahawks and 49ers fans, dude.
Yeah.
So it's like when someone meets me and they're a football fan and I'm a huge Rams fan, like, dude, I've never met a Rams fan, like I'm like, we'll get
Yeah.
used to it because there's literally dozens of us, okay? So
Literally. Dude, it was fun when I got like I met oh man, what year was that? I started my coverage of Rams is kind of a weird story. I started just kind of commenting in Facebook groups, and then somebody asked me to be an admin of a page. His name's Robert. He asked me to help him admin a page, and I met some really really good fans that way. Robert, this girl Jenna that I don't talk with anymore. I don't know really what happened to her. Brett, I call him Single T. He's like known him for years, like that. We all kind of like met that way, and like just through Facebook, and that's kind of how I started covering the Rams. And then through that, I got picked up onto the website, which was truelovesports.com, and started writing about the Rams. And then I felt like I was just being misunderstood. So I felt like I needed to talk. It was like, all right, I need to just start a podcast, like, and then once the approval happened where the Rams moved to LA, I was like, all right, this is definitely the time to start a podcast. I cannot miss it anymore. It's like we just moved to one of the biggest cities in the world. I gotta hit this wave, So it was just all over it. But it's kind of crazy just to see it all like unfold that way. Oh, dude, that's so funny. Single T comes in and I'm like talking about how cool he is. That's so funny.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah, Britt. What's up, Britt? Yeah, it's just kind of like the path of like me covering the Rams kind of started then with Robert, Brett, Jenna, and like Alan was in there, stuff like that. I'm trying to remember who else, but it was just like being an admin of Facebook pages, and I have a mustache. Talking.
Yeah. Dude, for me, like just growing up, like I was born in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And, one of my first memories, like if it wasn't like, cause my family is like huge into sports. So it's like, if it wasn't the Lakers that we were watching, we were watching the Rams games.
Hell yeah, man.
And I cannot tell you like and this is crazy. My mom is a bigger sports fan than my dad was.
Nice.
And I remember when the Rams left LA, like she was like legit broken up about that, dude. And she was like, "What are we gonna do now?" And I was a kid, I was a baby. I didn't like, I didn't put too much thought into it. But yeah. I always had that, growing up. I was a Lakers, Rams, USC fan. Like I was just that I love rooting for my home teams. And when I moved up to Oregon, it's like it made me love my team even more, just because I heard so much Seahawks and so much Niner crap, and it's like
digging a little harder on it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, screw that, dude. Like I'm not, like I'm not gonna root for a Niner or freaking Seahawks or your Oregon Ducks or Beavers. Like no, like but that's how that's how my fandom started. Like just growing up there, and it's just like people now, like most of my family, most of my friends, like they're either Raiders, Cowboys, or Niner fans. Like I'm. I don't know a whole lot of like Rams fans, obviously other than you. And, that's why I love talking to you, dude. Like, because we share something that's like I love so much and that you love so much. And it's just so easy to talk about. Like it's cool that way. And that's why, like, when I meet another Rams fan while I'm out and about, it's just something we already have in common, and you can instantly like spark conversation,
Dude, it's absolutely right, man. But Brett is actually bringing up such a good point in the comments right now that his comment is that period of time. I'll just bring it up. What am I doing? The period of time when the Rams were discussing moving was the worst. Fan base was super split and attacking each other, and that sucked, man. There was a gap in there that, like, I would say probably 2013, 14, and like all the way until the move, that the fan base was just rough. It was like. Everybody was split on every single.
I was emotion. So for it.
No one could agree on anything. I hated it. I hated that time of like it was St. Louis versus LA. It was Goff versus Wentz, and like everything. It was down to like uniforms, where we play, like what the players that we want, the coaches that we want. Like no one could agree on anything, and then. Yeah. So, and I guess we're still there. Like, we still have people like we literally just like beat the butt cheeks off the Seahawks, and people are still like, yeah, but these uniforms. And it's like, shut up, dude. Like, oh my God, I don't know how you still care about this so much, man. It's like, I just want to watch the Rams game. Like, and that's like my favorite thing. And like, I kind of tell people that a lot, and especially like right now, it's like, it's cool as hell to watch the Rams win. That was a blast yesterday, and especially against the Seahawks too, who like I've despised ever since 2010 week 17. Charlie Whitehurst freaking beat us and kicked us out of playoffs. I'm still so angry about that, but it's like that's all awesome. But like really for me, it's like we got to see like hang out with all the homies that we don't really hang out in the off season. So like seeing all the squad down at the bar and stuff like that, like kicking it with like even like Seth, Tim, Alan, like everybody showed up. Misty and Aaron are always there. It's always me, Aaron, and Misty, and then there's others. You know what I mean? But like it was so cool to get everybody in there. And then we also had Austin showed up. He's his first time coming to hang out with us and stuff. And it was just like that to me is like seeing Kyron Williams score a first touchdown of the season. We all go around and give a high fives and stuff like that. And it was like that to me. It was like, all right, this is it. Like that's the moment. Like that kind of stuff is what I care about. And I just want to enjoy it, man. Like if we would have lost that game, well, that moment still exists. That doesn't go away just because we lost. Like so for me, like that is the win. And I know that sounds kind of corny and stuff like that, but that is true, man. I'm there just kind of hang out. My dad was down there. My buddy Jackson was down there. Who just had his kid and stuff like that. So he's like obviously super busy and stuff like that. But he made it down there. My dad was in town, so he came down. And it was just awesome, man. It was a great day all around. Like, and that's to me, that's what it's all about, man. Just getting together with the squad, knocking back a few beers, giving some high fives, talking some trash and stuff like that. Like that was great, man. I'm happy for it. So the winning or losing of the Rams game specifically, I mean, yeah, it's obviously awesome to win, and I want to see this team win, but that's not the defining factor for me, at least. Like I'll still have a great day, even if the Rams don't win the game. So
yeah, and I think that's the thing too, right? Like just being that fan, it's like because I feel the same exact way. Like especially like when I took my son to his first Rams game, a couple of years ago to Seattle. We lost that game because, we lost that game, but I'll never forget, like, he had, like, the most fun ever. He was in his Rams jersey, and he was cheering on, and every time, like, how, like, the Seahawks, like, they have, like, their own, like, little chant? Yeah. Like, he would always replace, like, their I forget exactly what the words were, but he would always replace the last word with Rams, like try to like drown them out. Obviously there were more Seahawks fans, but he would just like Rams, and just watching him like having that good of a time at the game and just, seeing his face and just being a part, being able to show him like our fandom and like, hey, son, this is our team. Like, I'll never forget that. And that just makes me love our team even more. You know what I mean?
Dude, absolutely. When in Green Bay last year, me and my buddy went out to Lambeau for that Monday night game. And there was a kid, the only Rams fan that I could see near us. He was this kid a couple rows in front of us. And at the end of the game, he like sits down and he's like head down and stuff like that. And that's what I went up to him. I was like, hey, dude, you have a good time? And he was like, yeah, it was fun, but I wish we would have won. And it was like, dude, you're at Lambeau Field right now. You just watched the Rams play at Lambeau Field against Aaron Rodgers on Monday Night Football in December, man. I was like, this is a moment, man. It's like, this is awesome.
The last game Aaron Rodgers ever played against the Rams as a Green Bay Packer.
Yeah, man. It's like, and Baker Mayfield threw his 100th career touchdown pass. Tyler Higbee became the all-time leading touchdown scorer for tight ends in team history. And I was like, dude, this was cool, man. It's like, I know we didn't win. Like, it would have been fun to see his team win, but hey, that was badass. And then I kind of like also in my brain, my buddy Jackson, he was at Lambeau for the first time ever. He's a major Packers fan. He's like first time ever he's at Lambeau. And he just got to see his team win on Monday Night Football at home. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. Like, that's cool for him. Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, it would have been fun to see the Rams win, but my buddy got a hell of a story out of it. He got a custom jersey from the shop and then, like, got to see his team win in person on Monday Night Football, December, Lambeau Field. And, yeah, it was just, I don't know, man. All that stuff is like, hey, I ain't mad. Like, whatever. Yeah, it would have been cool to win, but I had a great time, man. I won. I tell people that all the time. They're like, when they try to talk trash about it, when the Rams lose and they try to come at me and talk trash, they're like, who won? I did. I had a great day, man. Shut up.
Exactly.
Oh, man, what is he saying here? I'll never forget when he said that Danny Woodhead is a real weapon as we're about to play the Patriots. Oh, my God. He's talking about Jeff Fisher. Oh, man. Brett, what are you doing in here, man? Get out of this conversation.
What more? What else you got, Brett?
My main memory from Fisher is him trying to get the flag out of his pocket. He's like, that's stupid. Dude, why is your jacket so big, Jeff? What are you doing?
My main memory is just seeing him during the Super Bowl against the Rams.
Yeah.
That was it. I try to block out when he actually was like the coach for the Rams. So it's like, yeah, that freaking mustache, bro.
Dude, hey. You watch it.
No.
I'm team mustache. I'm very much with Arthur Smith on this. It's a lifestyle, and
there you go.
Not everybody can do it. All right.
Right.
I will say this about mustaches really fast. That is a weird sidebar for Ram Showcase Live on your Monday night. But and also it super late at night all of a sudden. But it is a weird lifestyle, and there is like a weird response you get from people, and it's not negative ever. There's a weird, like, unspoken level of respect if you show up with a mustache, and I don't know why. And also, it's unnecessary. This is done out of humor, and now I've had it for over a year, and I think this is just who I am. I'm a mustached man now. All right. So
You haven't shaved?
what's up?
You haven't shaved?
I trim it, but
You
yeah,
haven't taken the whole thing off?
I've had the mustache for over a year.
Bro.
I just kind of trim up I do a one guard on the sides everywhere, just because I can't go.
Dude,
I can't do it.
I need to shave. I need to shave this like once a week to like keep it down, because it would just be
I just do quick little trimmies because I like it being all big and bushy. And then my hair, I haven't cut that in over a year too. So it didn't work last year for the Rams, though we obviously didn't do very well. But this year, I think my hair and mustache has hit the proper length to be good luck for the Rams. So you're welcome.
Keep it that way. Keep it that way.
You're welcome, everybody. All right, dude. I'm gonna start wrapping up here. But dude, it was awesome to talk with you, man. Always look forward to it, man. But dude, hell yeah, we got Seattle, or not got Seattle. We got San Fran next week, man. It's gonna be a fun one.
Hell yeah, and I cannot wait. Thank you again for for doing what you do, bro. Like, I appreciate the hell out of you. You have no idea how much you mean to not only me but everybody else that watches you, dude. Like, I look forward to your videos. I look forward to your lives. Like, you're awesome, and I am a forever supporter.
I don't know how to handle this. I usually just talk into a room by myself. Leave me alone, all right? Thank you so much, Ivy. I really appreciate it, man. Always good to talk with you, man. I'm sure we'll talk soon, for sure, man.
Hell yeah, bro. Go Rams, always.
Do you have social media that we need to follow you on and stuff?
No. I mean, if anybody wants to follow me, Edwin Gonzalez, Facebook, Instagram. I'm not, I go on here because I love talking about the Rams, and Sheriff Joe Bax is awesome. So.
Hell yeah, man. Thank you so much, man. Hey, enjoy the rest of your night, man, and we'll definitely talk soon.
You too, bro. Go Rams.
Go Rams. Hell yeah. Edwin, what a cool dude, man. All right, so kind of wrap up here. I do want to mention this comment from Brett here. How'd you like all the motion we were running on offense? McVay was cooking, bro. It seemed like every single play Tutu was in motion, which is absolutely ideal because of his size. And I realize that I've been super harsh on Tutu and stuff like that, but with his size, obviously, if you just let him try to get off the ball on a corner, especially like the motions were coming a lot when the defense was showing press. So it's like, obviously just get him moving, and then you can't really do that as much. We saw it against the Chargers against Tyreek Hill, had a really hard time with that. And Tutu's just not to that level. Obviously, I don't think I'm blowing any minds being like Tutu Atwell is not as good as Tyreek Hill yet. I'll even throw in a yet. All right. I'll give you that even. But the way Tyreek Hill was able to get off the line and avoid that press, he was just like, he's open right away. And Tutu's got that same speed, but also not that same get off ability. And hopefully maybe he'll develop that some as the years go on, as the games go on. Maybe he'll develop some more tools into the repertoire that he can kind of carve up the defenses with. But it was really cool to see not only Tutu just kind of coming in and having a good, strong game where his routes looked good, his energy looked good. And yes, that is a big thing, especially when it comes to him specifically. And I know I've been harsh on that, but his attitude sometimes, it just seems like it's like, does he even want to be here? Like, is he playing football just because he's good at it, but he's actually like it or anything? Like, there's questions like that sometimes. And sometimes that is real. And sometimes there are players that are just like, oh, I'm just here because I'm really good at it. You can make so much money doing this, dude, and I'm good at it. Hell yeah, might as well, right? That is a real thing. That happens in the NFL. And your motivations are not my business, essentially. I mean, who the hell am I to say, like, but to see the offense that we had with McVay and LaFleur, I think is helping a lot. I kind of talked to you about that, I think, Brett, in like a message that I just say, I think that what he will bring to the offense, I think, is just kind of taming the brain of Sean McVay just enough to kind of set the offense up into better situations. And I think that's why let me ask you this. Let me answer that by asking you this, Brett. Do you think that that without Mike LaFleur, we would have just given up on trying to run the football with Cam Akers probably in like 6 minutes in? Because I do. That's based on what we know about Sean McVay, is that like he tends to panic, and it happens, whatever. But like he tends to panic on play calling and stuff like that. And so where there's certain times where when a player's not working out right away, or something's not getting going, he'll just abandon it. And he didn't do that with the run game with Cam Akers, which I think was absolutely massive. Your hot take on Puka? Did I have a hot take on Puka? I just think he was just super dope, dude. I know I had. Let's see. He was a recipient of one of the offensive game badges, dude. Check it out, Puka. So yeah, Pakua Matata. That's such an awkward thing to say. Typing it is totally fine. And then Tutu Train. That's what I'm trying to decide between my fantasy team name right now. But yeah, I don't know if I was like had any hot takes on him, but he was obviously very good. Puka did a very good job, and that's the kind of the point I was kind of circling to, was that like not only did Tutu have a very strong day, and the way that the coaching staff was utilizing Tutu, I think, was a very big part of that. But obviously Puka coming in and being able to take some of that pressure away, it's like you got to think from that secondary's perspective. They're like, oh, Cup's not playing? Hell yeah. And then these two dudes go over 100 and they're like, all right, you know. Like in Higbee again, I said this before, but like Higbee never really goes off statistically, but he does what you need him to do. And he picks up big plays. Like he'll break a tackle on a play or two. He'll pick up some first downs, and that's all you need out of Tyler Higbee. He's also great in the run game. So yeah, I mean, I love that dude. But to see I will say one thing that makes me nervous on the motions, because that's kind of what we're talking about. I think a lot of times, too many times maybe, that we're seeing that guy in motion hit up, and we're gonna get flagged on that. Like I was surprised it didn't happen in this first game. It seemed like we were pushing that timing pretty snug a good chunk of the day. But I also didn't hear any commentators talk about it. I didn't see it pop up on Twitter or social media. I think I just called it Twitter's. I think I'm an old man. But I didn't see it pop up anywhere, so I guess not a lot of people were super concerned about it, or maybe I'm kind of exaggerating it a little bit, which is definitely possible. But yeah, to see the motions and kind of just see, like, it felt like a Sean McVay offense. And the best part about all of that, like the part that like my brain is still, it's only like 26% wrapped around right now, of the fact that like this offense was that against a good team, a team that was in the playoffs last year, and still gets its best player back like sometime next month. And that is so sick. That is so crispy right there. Because obviously when you can move the ball like the Rams did in the first drive was like, okay, yo, like are we sick? Like, are we is this what sick is? Like that was very fun. But like just like it just felt like going down, get to third and short, convert, third and short, convert, third and short, convert, work it all the way down, score a touchdown. It was like, that's nice. And then it kind of loosened everybody up, I think. And then the second drive obviously didn't go our way, but then that was the drive that everybody kind of seemed to have some mistakes. But then come in third, fourth, fifth drive, then everybody seemed to kind of really settle in, and then we were getting things done. So it did feel like a Sean McVay offense that didn't have its best player, and that shouldn't be seen as a detriment. Obviously it is. We're a better football team when Cooper Kupp is on the field, but to know that we do get him back at some point and he gets added to this grouping of Puka, Tutu, Tyler, like one of those things doesn't belong. That's so funny. Like these super crazy names, and then Tyler, but it's irrelevant. But to like know that Cooper Kupp is going to be added into that group is so exciting. I'm super pumped about it. So of course, you may have noticed, if you are a follower of Ram Showcase, that the video versions did come back of the podcast. We are working through some things. I am going to try to see if I can work anything out with YouTube. That whole mess this offseason where they pulled my monetization but didn't tell me why. I failed the appeal within seconds of submitting it, which I mean, the things that I typed out there, I don't know, I wasn't like trying to be rude or anything like that, but also they didn't have time to read it. Like I submitted it and I got a denial before they even could have read all the things I wrote. So I was very surprised by that. So maybe there's some things that I can work on with that and get it rolling. But other than that, video versions are back, but we're not doing the full podcast. We are just doing the game preview. And I will say that having gone through that now for 1 week and knowing that that is going to be the plan this year, I'm very excited about it because I think that without doing the full podcast and video version and just isolating it to the game preview, I feel like I can give that more attention now. And so hopefully this first one, a little raw, a little rough. I'm still trying to get like my rhythm of it down for the season and how I want it to go this season, because each season I kind of change things just a little bit. But the way that this season's going to go, I'm really excited about it. I'm really excited that I can give that attention to just this aspect of the video instead of worrying about all this other stuff in the beginning. And then obviously we already talked about the game here, so I'm not going to go into and give like a whole game like recap because these puppies release on like Thursday morning. Y'all know what happened in these games, all right? So dang, I keep just getting updates on Rodgers, and I just feel for those Chiefs fans. Brett, this is how, if you're still here, this is how I put it in terms to Rams fans earlier, is that like 2021, we say we have like Sean Hill or Austin Davis as our backup or whatever like that, or maybe we'll just keep it Case Keenum, like he was in LA. So like that, the game preview still, or the Rams game has just been playing on my phone this entire time. But like, say we have Case Keenum and we make the move, and Case Keenum, obviously, he's fine. He's whatever, but like, he's not cool dude. Like, I don't know. I have no complaints on Keenum, but I don't really want him to be QB1 going into year one all year. You know what I mean? Much like how the Jets probably feel about Zach Wilson. It's like, he was all right. Like, he's not hot garbage. He's like kind of warm garbage, but I mean, whatever. Like, but if we have another guy, let's play the other guy. But I guess in my brain, circle all that back around, is that like, imagine that in week 1, 2021, Chicago Bears, Matthew Stafford goes 0 for 1 and gets sacked once and then is just done. The emotions that would have hit me, the emotion, it took me back to the Bradford Browns preseason game, where just that roller coaster of emotions that night, where like, all right, I'm nervous about quarterback playing in preseason anyway, but hey, you know, I trust it. Let's go. He missed a good chunk of time, so he's healthy. Let's go. Let's get him out there. Let's get him loosened up for the season. And then ACL tears. And then later that night, we get told of like, actually, it's not that bad. We think we got away with the worst. And then they tell us later, the next day, I wake up to the news of like, yeah, it's torn. And it's like, hey, don't do that. This thing, I can't. No, it can't. I'm too soft. All right. I get too sad and too invested to be able to do that. All right. And that was my guy. Like, so I love Sam Bradford when he was here, but yeah, that's the thing, man. Yeah, exactly, man. It's exactly the example, man. It's like, just imagine that happens again, but to Bradford or to Stafford when in week 1, when like we have that hope. We're like, damn, dude, we got a team around us now. Like, we got a solid squad. We got a Super Bowl team, man. And then we lose our quarterback week 1. Within the first few plays, first 4 minutes of the game, your quarterback's done. And it's, man, I feel for these Jets fans, man, because we've been there. I feel like we've been there. And that's why I kind of like, I root for everybody to kind of like, I root for fans, really. Yeah, what? Brett's got something. I root for fans. So I hope that fans have a good experience. Most fans. I hope Niners fans have a terrible experience, but I hope that other fans have a good experience. Or I guess Dallas fans, Niners fans, Eagles fans, Seahawks fans, Cardinals fans. So I guess a good chunk of guys I don't want to have good time. But like Washington fans, they never hurt nobody. All right. They're just out there sad. Jets fans, they're just out there sad, man. Like, let's let them have this. The Browns fans, a little ridiculous, but enough where it's like, all right, well, they should win it, but just without Deshaun Watson, because I don't want to see him do well. All right. That guy's a weirdo. It's like, I'm seeing him play well. It's like, like, leaves a gross like aura about it. I don't know. But either way, none of that's relevant. But like, I root for these fans, man. I hope that, like my buddy Paul, I hope that he gets to have that moment where he gets to celebrate a Jets win, man, because he definitely was not alive last time the Jets won at all. So it's cool to see. But so Brett asking about the O-line. That O-line, man. What I'm waiting for and excited for is that I think that in the run game, we'll be able to form that continuity. We have some shakeups right now, obviously. Last year's offensive line was just I think I got a phone call to play a game. Last year doesn't count as far as like evaluation, but with obviously Boom going to right guard, AJ slipping out to left tackle, Steve coming in as the rookie. So obviously there's going to be some continuity building. And I think that as the season kind of creeps on, we will see the run blocking get a little bit better as far as like creating holes and stuff like that. And also, I think we can scheme that better. I think that Cam Akers being just slammed into the A gap is like that's not what he's best at. And then just like did it again, and it was like, all right, well, all right, and then did it again. And it was like, all right, like what do we do? And then I don't even want to get into it. Michael Hoyt covering DK. What the hell are we doing out here, dude? Raheem, what are we? Time out, dude. Like we need to get somebody else in there. Like what are we doing? So, but either way, the pass blocking was wildly impressive to me. But I also feel good about this offensive line. I felt good about it going into the season. I like the guys that we have. I kind of knew that with health, we're way better offensive, like on the offensive line than we were last year, just miles better. Streets ahead on the offensive line, just being super sick, just having continuity and having health. I like our depth too. I like even Warren McClendon. Who was else? This on this page here. Warren McClendon and Kevin Dotson were inactive, and those are two guys that I like as well. So I think we've got really strong offensive line depth. I think that was a need. I think we addressed it, and I think that we're actually looking pretty good there right now. So pass blocking absolutely was on fire, man. And I think Stafford, like you can kind of tell, he was confident back there. He wasn't worried about that pass rush. He was letting them do their jobs, and to see him just like sit in that pocket, like last year, it felt like if he's standing in the pocket like he was, then he's getting pulled down. And so this year to see him just standing there and then just deliver some bombs. And of course, like you get like that one, the 2-2s coming across from the left side of the right side. And it just it seemed like he slowed up on the route. Maybe I'm wrong there. I don't know. I'm not an XO guy. I'm a story guy, but either way. And then like Van Jefferson dropping that deep ball, stuff like that. It's unfortunate. But to see Matthew Stafford just sitting in there and then just slanging it, man, that was awesome. And so yeah, massive credit to the offensive line, and I was hyped for him, man. AJ on the left side is incredible. I love Big Rob. Steve is obviously awesome. I do think that the offensive line it does play better with Coleman, but hey, Brian Allen, I don't hate him. Individually, I think that Brian Allen is better, but Coleman Shelton, I think, just commands the offensive line better. I think he just sets everybody else up better. Just the way he calls things out, I like a lot. So yeah, and then obviously no Boom at right guard. I'm here for it, man. I like it. So yeah, that's fun stuff, man. Wide receivers absolutely killed it. And I kind of talked about that ahead of the game. Was kind of talking about how too many fans decided that when Cooper Kupp was not playing, that we were just going to lose. Like it was guaranteed to lose. Dan Orlovsky, he was one of them that was like, without Cooper Kupp, this team has no chance. And a lot of fans echoed that. And they were just like, well, I guess it's over. And it's like, or maybe somebody will break out. Maybe somebody will have a good game. And it turned out two of them did. So it's like, could have been worse, man, for sure. But I don't know. I don't know what you get from that because I don't know. To go in just so pessimistic is so jarring to me. I'm so confused by it. I went into the 2009 season with hope, though. So I mean, maybe I'm the idiot, but also like, I don't know. I don't know what you get out of being pessimistic. And I guess one guy did tell me that he likes to be pessimistic so that he's the letdown is softer. I was like, all right, I'll give you that. That at least makes sense. That like, there's at least some thought process to it of like, well, if I don't expect anything, then I can't be let down. And I just kind of go in it with like, I'm hopeful. I hope that the Rams do well, but I don't know what to expect. Every game's got its own identity. That line for sure was kicking butt cheeks, so it was really good to see. If we don't trade for Stafford, do you believe Wolford would have been QB1 in 2021? No, it would have been Goff. What are you talking about? Actually, it wouldn't have been either of those. I'm fully convinced that we would have traded Goff either way. Actually, looking back on those, like doing the retrospect of that whole offseason and like Les Snead's comments of like, yeah, he's the quarterback right now. Like it was like that kind of stuff was like, oh, he's gone. All right. But I think we would have made a move for somebody else. I don't know. Maybe it would have been a rookie. Maybe it would have been a young guy. But yeah, No, Wolford, he wasn't very good, and I'm very surprised at how many fans were like all over Wolford, like really, really liked him. He was okay, and I liked him as a backup. I liked having him on the bench if we needed him to come in for a game or a couple drives or something like that. He didn't make me super nervous, but going in QB1, that makes me nervous. That always made me nervous. That even that Cardinals game, the what was that, the 2020 season, um, week 8, was it, no, 17, I think. That was before we had the ridiculous schedule, but he like didn't play that well against a very terrible Cardinals defense. And then of course gets hurt in the Seattle game, which sucks because then it's like that Goff got benched because he literally came in and won the game. And it was like, oh, so he was good enough to play, and it's the playoffs, which means if he was good enough to play and this is the playoffs and he wasn't the starter, he was benched. Like, got it. Um, but no, I think the Rams were ready to move on from Stafford. And I'll say this, I don't think there's a winner and a loser here. I think there's two winners. And that can happen. There can be two winners of trades. Like, I think that the Rams and Lions both won. Obviously, the Rams have a Super Bowl ring out of it, and that's obviously what you want. But and I see a lot of people saying like, well, we won the trade because they haven't gotten a Super Bowl ring out of it. It's like, well, let's give it some time. They might. Like, that's a pretty good football team. Like, they might do it. So let's give it a couple years. Like, let's see. Like, maybe both teams win that trade. Maybe both teams lose a trade, like the Rams and Redskins. That's what they were called at the time. Don't come for me. With the RG3 trade, that didn't work out for either team. We blew those picks. We blew all of those picks. None of those guys amounted to anything. And RG3, his knee does not exist. It doesn't. Yeah. So when he ran for that first job, I was screaming. It's not. It's with Stafford. So worthless Stafford, dude. That's so funny. We were calling him Matthew Vick for the rest of the day. Because obviously, this is like, sorry about your ankles, Seahawks defenders. Sucks to suck, dude. Oh yeah, we got a comment here. Is Wolford had to be the worst Rams starting quarterback of all time? I don't know about all time. Kyle Bowler, ring any bells, dude? Gus Frerotte taking a couple games in St. Louis, dude. Those were some ones where it was like, except for our Lord and Savior Keith Knoll. That guy was awesome. Oh, and this is absolutely right. And this is absolutely right. That just the Goff and McVay's relationship was shot. Like, it wasn't there, man. It wasn't there. They were not going to get along, and that's kind of my point on the trade there too, of like both teams winning. I think that both quarterbacks went into a situation that suits them better, and fit is underrated in the NFL, and I don't think people give fit enough credit when it comes to where players and coaches are. Dan Campbell in Detroit, the perfect Detroit coach. Absolutely perfect. And let's not pretend like Goff doesn't thrive in that environment, all right? Goff doesn't need a Sean McVay who's very cerebral, very like, hey, snap the ball, fake it here, look this way. If this guy does this and this guy goes over here, then you're going to look over here. And if that doesn't work, then you're going to go here. And then, like, here's your check down, stuff like that. That is what Matthew Stafford's good at, because his brain sees the same thing that McVay's brain does. So when he snaps the ball and like McVay's like, oh, look here, and if this happens and this happens, and throw here, and then it goes this, and then Stafford's also got the ability to do all that as he's following the exact play that Sean McVay sets up for him, but then also like look this way and they'll be like, whoop. So that's badass. And so I think that schematically Matthew Stafford is like, I don't say flawless, but he's perfect for Sean McVay's offense. And then if you look at Jared Goff in the Detroit system there, it is very much like that whole kneecap biting off thing. Like, that is very much a real thing. And I think we could tell that when it was like a real intense game, that maybe the Rams were being kind of kicked to the curb, like before the game even started, and like the odds were against us, or maybe Goff got hit a couple of times. He was so tough, dude. And like, he would get blasted, just pop on up. And I think that mindset works perfect in Detroit, of like, go make something happen, get your emotions high, and go punch somebody in the mouth, like, and I think that Goff just thrives in that. So I think that both teams won that trade. And I think that both quarterbacks went to systems that fit them very, very well. And so for that reason, I don't care what Goff does. I support Goff. I'm a Goff fan. I wanted Goff originally when Cal played Air Force, which is my local team out here, in that bowl game. That was the first introduction I had in Goff. That was a super snowy day out here. I remember I was sitting at this place called Harmony Bowl, and that was on the TV, and I was like, damn, man, like this quarterback is his deep ball is gorgeous, man. And I remember diving into him, and I wanted to learn more. And then he ended up coming to the Rams. I was pumped about it. So I definitely still support Goff, man. But I think that where he's at now, and that's where he needed to be. He and McVay were not there. They weren't there. They weren't doing these, you know what I mean? Like where he and Stafford, McVay and Stafford, they do have that. But he needed a place where he can go and it's like, I don't care about how you're feeling about this. Go play football. That's what we're playing football. Go out there, have fun, punch somebody in the mouth, and let's go win some football games. That's the mindset that Goff thrives in. So I think that trade worked out for both teams. Absolutely. I raised you with Keith Knoll. Hey, I said Keith Knoll. You may have typed it before I said it. It's possible. Dude, I don't even think it's an ankle. I think it's an Achilles, which is, I guess, technically part of the ankle. I guess. What is the ankle? Are we talking about only bones? Splitting hairs there, but yeah, it's dude, I feel bad for them, man. We've touched on that topic kind of a lot. It's kind of why we're talking about quarterbacks right now. It's like, could you imagine if we trade for Matthew Stafford and in the first game in 2021, his leg explodes? It's like, oof. I can't imagine the emotions that would run through me there. Purdy, great example, Brett. And I hate it. I hate that it's a perfect fit, but it is. And I also hate that he's got a perfect fit behind him now in Darnold. It was flawless fit in that offense of just because that fit it needs somebody who is got a little bit of Austin Davis to him, a little bit of freestyling to him, but a guy who you can tell this guy's going to be open here. If he's not, or if you miss it, it's late or something like that, pressure in your face, this guy's going to be open. If not, here's your check down. And also your check down is George Kittle, and he's going to break 18 tackles on the way to the end zone. That's Purdy is perfect for that for sure. Tua and McDaniel, another great example, man. Absolutely another great example. Their energy, McDaniel's energy, first of all, is so dope. That guy is so fun, right? And then I think Tua, I don't really know much of Tua's personality-wise, but seeing McDaniel, and I think some of the stuff he says is dumb as hell, and sometimes I'm like, shut up, dude. It's like when he's like, well, we're going to try to score more points in it. It's like, dude, that joke is elementary, bro. Get it. But he's also whatever. He's a cool guy. I like it. I like Mike McDaniels a lot, but he's really good friends with the comedian Dan Soder for no reason at all. They grew up together, I guess, which is funny, but that's kind of irrelevant. But yeah, Tua and McDaniels is great example too. I'm trying to think of other ones right now. Kyler and anybody from the Rams perspective, I mean, because he sucks. Geno Smith out there in Seattle, I think that's a good scheme fit. I think about 5% of quarterbacks are scheme proof. Yeah, that feels real. Yeah, you could bring in Mahomes to any scheme, it's going to be fine. Brady to any scheme, it's going to be fine. Drew Brees to any scheme, it's going to be fine. But then for the most part, those guys are so rare and hard to find. And that's the thing too that you get with a team like the 49ers, which I'm super curious to see how they handle this. So far, it seems like they're doing the right thing. But they had a guy who was, in my opinion, a really, really scheme fit in Jimmy Garoppolo, and we're just so quick to try to move on from it. Because it's like, well, he's not Patrick Mahomes. It's like, yeah, not a lot of people are. Not every team has a Patrick Mahomes. What the hell makes you think that you're special? And then they go out and try to force a Patrick Mahomes and Trey Lance. And lucky for Rams fans, that guy was absolutely terrible. He was so bad at football. He is still so bad at football, man. I have as much football experience as Trey Lance does in the last 5 years. Come on now. What are we doing over here? The dude plays no games. How are we supposed to evaluate homie? And he has no games. Annette is hella late, and we won't be on much longer. I was fully expecting not to be still going, but scheme proof is hard to find. Absolutely. For example, Russell Wilson. He's truly Wilson with a good run game. Look at Sean Payton and how he's scheming it up. I actually did, because I was Rams game obviously on at the same time. I haven't really seen much from the Chargers Dolphins. I also haven't seen a lot from Broncos Raiders yet. Packers Bears I haven't really seen a lot of. Just when the Rams are on, I got tunnel vision, man. I got Rams vision on. So I'm just watching that. But yeah, I don't really know how that game unfolded. I know it was a loss for the Broncos, obviously, which is really unfortunate. When you lose at home to a division team, what's up, Seattle? Oh man, it's funny. I love that so much. Winning on the road in a division game, in a division where we only won one division game last year, to open it on the road in Seattle, where a team that everybody's kind of been like, watch out for Seattle. They were a playoff team last year. Not this year. All right, let's rein that in. All right, let's just rein it in. And maybe I'm overreacting to them in week one, but they just did. They looked sloppy, man. They looked like, I don't know. They couldn't cover all of our young guys, which I love. I ain't mad about it, but yeah, and they had a lot of hype on their defense, and the Rams had a lot of like anti-hype on their offense and scored 30. So I'll take it. If there's any last minute comments, go ahead and pop them in now as we'll start wrapping up here. Ram Showcase, of course, will be recorded on Wednesday night when I get home from work. I do get off work at 10 o'clock Ram time. That's 11 o'clock local time for me. So I just kind of feel like it's a good window to do it in, and also don't want to do it too early because then other cool things happen and then I miss it, and then I don't want to do it too late because then shelf life. You know how lame it is to do like like so many people have podcasts where that like a true crime podcast, you put that out and it's relevant forever. People could listen to that for years. Game previews for Ram Showcase, they have 4 days. That's it. And then nobody cares, which is really cool. But Wednesdays for the new episode of Ram Showcase, yeah, we'll be, of course, diving back into game previews on videos. So up on ramshowcase.com, let's see here. What can I do here? So we'll do, let me do this, and we'll go here. We'll go here. Where did I go? Wait. No, I want to do this guy. So as you can see, this is ramshowcase.com. So the way we're kind of setting everything up right now is front page is going to be very helpful for you if you're checking out ramshowcase.com. So obviously got the video version of the game preview here. There's no ads on it because, well, I'm not allowed to have ads on YouTube videos anymore. They think I was cheating. And then obviously you get the podcast embedded here and stuff like that. And then obviously merch. So there's also things that I write. I write things too. This will be more and more updated as the season goes on. I'm trying to get my my rhythm of it all down. So it's kind of what we're working on now. So boom. Boom. All right. So but yeah, ramshowcase.com. Be there. Do stuff. Buy shirts. Look at how cool they are. Exhibit A. Hell yeah. Look at how cool I look right now. What? What? You want to look as cool as this? All right, I think that's the sign. I think that moment right there is like, oh yeah, we've gone too long. Really excited, man. I read that weird. I'm gonna read it over here. I'm gonna put it up there though. I'm really excited, man, to see how these. Why does my brain not want to read? All right. I don't know why putting it on screen makes me forget words. I don't know what words are anymore. See how these kids are on the team respond to SF because SF is going to punch them in the mouth. Will they match their energy or get intimidated? It's going to be a fun one, dude. That's exactly right. I think that all the like this week, I think we're going to get hopefully some cool stuff from not like as far as content or anything goes, because whatever, but like hopefully there's some cool conversations going on in meeting rooms right now from like Aaron Donald, where he's like, I hate these guys, like, and then just like they feed off that. I hope that they're going in and showing stuff from the past. I hope they're showing Nick Scott just absolutely murder Debo in the middle of the field. I hope that they're showing that NFC Championship game. I hope they're showing those losses and the games that the Rams struggled against the 49ers in the regular season, all the like for the past couple of years and stuff like that. I hope that they're showing them this, and then just saying like Seattle that's a different animal. McVay, let's be real here. He kind of owns Pete Carroll a little bit, right? Like McVay's schemes match up well against Pete Carroll and the Seahawks, just like the Shanahan schemes match up well against the Rams, and then everybody's good against the Cardinals. But like, I think the conversations this week do need to be that very much like geared towards of like this is a different team. This is entirely different, and we're at home now. So like first home game, different team, and I'm guessing that in the first quarter we'll probably get pushed around just a little bit, like, or maybe somebody gets popped a little bit, maybe Warner gives Puka a good shot across the middle, maybe Fred Warner pops Kyron Williams a little harder than he thought, what I mean, or maybe there's maybe Debo stiff arms Trey Tomlinson or something, what I mean? Like something can happen there. Or maybe Kittle's coming on a block coming across like we saw Higbee doing in lights up Byron Young, and then that we don't want to see that, obviously, but if that is how the game starts, then maybe there'll be part of them that gets up and be like, all right, it's like that. It's that kind of game. And then we see him just absolutely crush some souls. So hopefully that's the thing, man. Annette, hey, thank you for stopping in. Although you were a little bit late, that's all good. I do appreciate you hanging out. Ram Showcase, look for it on Thursday morning, unless you're a late nighter, unless you're like borderline nocturnal like I am. Then look for it late Wednesday night, in the middle of the night, or Thursday morning. But other than that, thanks for freaking hanging out with me, man. This has been fun. Brett, always love talking with you, man. I don't have notifications on Messenger, so I'm so bad at, I don't see them usually, man. But so I know that's where we communicate sometimes. But I'll shoot you my number on there. How's that sound? I get those for sure. So. We're gonna get. Oh, speaking of AJ popping in here, give it a last comment here. We'll be doing a shirt giveaway. So Ram Showcase T-shirts. I have no idea what that was. We'll do a giveaway. I'll announce that on the podcast. So we'll announce it right at the start of the game preview so that everybody gets access to it on the video version and stuff like that. So Ram Showcase T-shirt could be yours in the future. And if you don't want to leave it up to chance, well, Ram Showcase merch, you can snag it, ramshowcase.com. Yeah. All right. That's going to do it for me. Thanks for hanging out, y'all. This has been an awesome one. I had a great time tonight. This is the latest one I've done, and I'm kind of here for it. This is fun stuff. Usually I'm only barely off work right now, so it's fine. I'm good. You guys good? Y'all good? All right. On that note, well, peace on out here. Again, guys, thanks so much for hanging out, man. I really do appreciate these. And if, again, anybody can hop on these. So if you will want to hop on like Edwin did and chat it up, that's absolutely okay. 100% of the time, that is okay. So let's do it up. Got another big game this week, and hopefully keep stacking dubs, right?